You are listening to the Foamy Heads podcast, where we discuss craft beer and anything else that accompanies a glass.
Foamy Heads are back on the mic, hanging out today. Mitch and Rich chilling, sitting at Panther Creek Brews in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's right now Sunday morning, and there's church going on across the street, so why not come and drink beer, right, Mitch?
I would need a drink to sit through.
Yeah.
Some sermons.
Some sermons, at least, anyway. This is awesome, man. We've got the place to ourselves, and we're just kind of hanging out today with two of the Panther Creek guys, just kind of relaxing a little bit.
Hell yeah.
How was the week for you?
Busy. I moved.
That's right. You did, didn't you? You
Yeah.
moved like a mile down the street, right?
1 mile down the street. Rent's going fucking crazy, and
Everything's going up.
couldn't get a house in time, so we had to just pivot. Locked in a price before the price hikes, but 6 months from now we are either moving out of town or finding a place more permanent.
Okay.
So it's a rush.
Yeah.
So
Did you get everything done last night?
mostly, my area is a mess still, but yeah, 3 days of heavy lifting, and even with all 85% of the boxes gone, it still took the movers like 4 hours to move everything. So
They're worth every dollar you pay them, though, for sure.
oh, for sure, but they did a good job. It's just, you know,
And now you're here.
several grand later,
Oh,
I've got the move done.
that sucks.
But that's why I'm kind of ready to drink.
Yeah, we're in again at Panther Creek today. We've got JT and Jeremy sitting across from us. What's going on, guys?
What's up? How you
What's up,
doing?
fellas?
Man,
Thanks for coming in.
yeah,
Thanks
this
for
is
having us.
awesome. We've been back and forth messaging for a few weeks now. Finally, kind of starting to get something on the book. So really excited to be in here today. Both of us used to live in Murfreesboro. Mitch and I did, and then he moved out of town, and I was the one staying here. And Panther Creek, let's see, at the time I think it was just Mayday. I don't even think Hop Springs had come into the area yet, but it was just Mayday, and been up there quite a few times and was like, this is nice. I really like it. And you know, when you're coming from Nashville, there's 50 of them, 50 breweries around. And so, you always have your go-to place and things like that, but it's always good to have something a little more than just, one or two spots. And then, Panther Creek opened up. So we're like, hey, this is awesome. It's another spot to go to. So we're really excited that you guys moved into town.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. So are we. Yeah.
Why don't you guys tell us a little about yourself? JT, you want to start us off?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Jeremy and I have been home brewing together for like 20 years or something like that. 18 years.
02, yeah.
Yeah, 02, 03, something like that. Yeah, it just got to the point where more people than our friends and family were being like, you guys got good beer, So, I mean, we were doing competitions and festivals. We kind of grew up on the festival circuit,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
will.
Absolutely. And the Mid-State Brew Crew really pushed
Absolutely.
it along when we joined up with them to start learning techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of big breweries. Actually, a lot of big breweries here in Nashville came out of that club. Bearded
wow.
Iris, Mill Creek, Mayday, in fact, Panther
Oh, wow.
Creek, Cedar Glades now just opened up. They came
Yep.
out of Mid-State Brew
Yep.
Crew. A couple other that are in the planning and stuff like that too. But yeah, Virginia Beer Company.
Yeah.
Dang. I
That's
need to
great.
look up. I need to look that up. I haven't heard of that before. The
Mid-State Brew Crew.
Mid-State
Yeah,
Brew
yeah,
Crew.
join
Yeah.
them. A lot of-
Yeah, it's
lot of good
huge
info.
now. When we started, it just was beginning. We're some of the beginning members, and I don't know. We'd meet at Liquid Smoke.
Yeah, down on the square.
Yeah, and we could literally just meet in the corner. Like
Yeah.
there was, I don't know,
like maybe 10 active members
10
or something like
active,
that.
something like that. And
that's awesome.
some of them being some of those big
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
brewery. Paul from Bearded Iris was
Mhm.
one of the first, and I think he was 19.
Yeah, actually, a buddy just
And
posted.
so he
a
wasn't
photo.
allowed to drink, but but he made beer.
Yeah. And
Hell
in
yeah.
that photo, I think there's like 10 of us, and there's like 5 breweries like that are at one stage or another
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
in that photo.
It's crazy.
From like 2006 or something.
Now I think they have 50, 60
Active
members.
active members, but I think the
Active,
online is
yeah.
like 1,000 or 2,000.
Holy
That's
shit.
crazy.
That's ridiculous.
That's really grown.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
nuts.
And you guys have been brewing together, you said, like homebrew style for like
Homebrewing,
20
yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah, since like 2002 or 3.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Whoa.
And it just
Yeah,
made
we
sense
were.
to...
Well,
I
split
guess
costs.
some of the
and-
backstory. I grew up with his wife, so when they got together, me and him met, and we live 2 houses down from each other.
That was easy.
So I was.
He like bought the house he grew up in,
Yep.
and I bought the house across the street from my parents.
Wow.
From my wife's parents.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it just became like a hey, I was like, I had just started brewing with like kits, just not what I would call actually brewing, but you
Like
know,
extract brewing with
Yeah,
like
on the
dump the
stove.
wort
Yeah,
in, you
partial
dump the
mash
hots.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'd
Yeah.
only done it a couple of times, and was like, hey, you want to help me, or you want to do this too? And I mean, the
And in
rest is
fact,
history.
That's
You know,
awesome.
in
Hell yeah.
2002, 2003, 2004, there was no good beer around here. Like,
No, not at
so
all.
we kind of started brewing just kind of out of necessity, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, to have, if we wanted a decent beer, we had to make it ourselves, you know. I
Yeah.
remember hanging out, like, we had a friend, actually, he does all of our artwork, but his family lived in Texas, and so he would go back and go to Texas and bring some Fat Tire.
Yeah.
And we would all sit around waiting, like,
Oh,
oh
man.
man,
Here
Tom's
comes
coming
the
with a
Fat
load of
Tire.
Fat
Oh,
Tire.
man.
Oh man,
Can't get that
So
anywhere.
crafty, that biscuity goodness. Oh,
What a
man.
weird time Tennessee was then.
Mm,
I-
yeah. So backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything was.
We're getting better, I think,
We're
a
getting
little
way
bit.
better, yeah.
We've come a long way. I think back to 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when you couldn't even buy anything above like 6.2 in a grocery store.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, and it was like
Yeah, it wasn't that
Fat
long
Tire
ago.
was
Exactly, yeah.
all you got, and Bud Light Platinum. You
Yeah.
know, it's like anything higher than that, you were shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta go
everything
to
we
a liquor
did
store.
was always
Yeah.
hashtag 6.2.
You guys are the
Oh,
only
yeah.
ones to ever do that,
Yeah.
by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
No one else has ever done that.
And
Yeah.
as far as home brewing, we couldn't even. I don't think we knew how to make under 7.
No.
Just- Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
I mean, we still
Until
fall
we
like between
learned,
6 and
you
7.5. That's where basically just like where we live, I guess. you
Yeah.
know? I mean,
Hey.
Yeah.
Man.
we're
Drinkable,
capable to
it's
do
easy.
higher and lower, but I think like most
Well,
things
they'll find
hit
out here
good
in a
between
minute.
6 and 7.5. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's
Yeah.
easy to drink, it's good. It's good beer. It doesn't matter what the ABV is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very true.
So we've got beer in front of us.
Let's pop it open.
Dedication.
Yeah.
You want to do the honors,
Sure.
JT? Yeah. So this is Dedication Double IPA.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah.
That
Tell
captured
us,
really
tell
well.
us about this one, Jeremy. Was this is the first one that you guys? I remember it was the first beer I had when I was at Panther Creek.
It has several meanings behind the name, but the first and foremost would just be literally our dedication to getting this up and running. And we started and kind of opened right in the smack beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we decided to make a double IPA and put it in cans pretty much right off the get-go, because we were gypsy brewing and going around and brewing at different people's breweries because we didn't have one of our own. And we got licensed before we even acquired this place, and we're kind of putting our stuff out there for growler fill stations to kind of get going. And, but this would have been the first one that really released in the can
Nice.
at our grand opening. We actually had several beers, but I think that was our thing. And we write on the can. JT, if you want to read it off of there, that is basically
Yeah, it's
the
sort of
perfect
you know,
words.
It's so early mornings, late nights, weekends, and holidays, staying focused in the face of adversity, continuing to press forward even when the road ahead is difficult and fraught with hardship, requires dedication. And I mean, that's just sort of sums up kind of our journey. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, no shortcuts, no easy ways.
No,
I mean, we've been
man.
brewing and giving beer away for 18 years or something like that, and it's like one of those things where you're like sort of a 20-year overnight success or something. You know?
Yeah,
It's like nobody sees all that hard work and dedication basically that it's taken. I mean, a lot of people told us that we're stupid and you know, you ain't gonna do it and you can't make it, and like, what are you three dudes even talking about, you know what I mean? And so
man,
it's just about like putting your boots on in the morning and going to work, you know what I mean? And that's kind of encapsulates kind of our brand, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Sort of just you know,
Yeah, we
roll our
do
sleeves
it
up
all
and do it.
ourselves. We don't have any investors. We're just crawling through, trying to build baby steps. And
I mean, that just means you're not responsible to anyone except yourselves, and then us as the consumer, you know, because you brew for us, but you brew with the intent to at least one day be able to do more than just put food on the table, you know? So,
well, I mean, there's kind of an old adage in like economics and things. It's like, if you think about the customer, you know what I mean, the money will come. If you think about the money, you know, you're kind of shot from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we think about the people. I mean, it's about the love of the beer and, you know, the love of the people drinking the beer. Like, I mean, it's so much of craft beer is not only like drinking the beer. Obviously, that's the biggest part, but it's also how you're enjoying it, who you're enjoying it with.
There's a story behind all of it too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what sets craft beer drinkers apart from the rest of the people, other than, you know, guys like Mitch and me and Jeremy and JT. We don't drink although it's a plus, you know, to kind of start feeling good. But, you know, if we just wanted to get shit faced and smash, we would just pound Bud Light Platinums or like, you know, Colt 45s until we felt bad. But, you know, being able to have craft beer,
which has happened in the past.
Oh, I mean, hey, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm just saying, you know, and then you want something that tastes a little bit better, and then from there you kind of start moving towards the consumer mindset.
Yeah.
You know, this one's actually poured very well. This is 8%. Did I get it right? 8%? Yeah, 8% double IPA, Panther Creek. Dedication.
West Coast, really danky CTC, early bittering hops, and finishing out with a really nice citrus note, Amarillo, some Comet.
Nice. Foamy Head dissipated fairly quickly on it, which was good because, I mean, it's staying around, it's lacing a little bit, which I like. Oftentimes I'll pop a beer and, you know, you want to pour it out, and sometimes it's due to having too many and not pouring it right, but other times that head just stays and you just have to wait and wait and wait. And this was just the right amount for me. I really enjoyed it. Dedication has been one of my go-tos here at Panther Creek. That looks great.
Nice. The when you all opened, I think we attended the grand opening.
Yep.
At least one of the days.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was insane.
It wasn't
even a grand opening, right?
No.
So the story behind that too is we got COVIDed. I mean, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
So we took possession of this place in late 19, did all the construction rehab with the goal of being open the beginning of April. And, you know, that's when everything started shutting down.
On a silver
It was
platter,
like, oh,
right?
boy.
You guys were handed a pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then so we continued, like he was saying, getting beers out there to go packaging and things like that and stuff, and still trying to make moves. And so we were like, well, we have to put something out in cans. Like our sort of whole business model kind of had to change a little bit, just become nimble. And so went with a big contract brew and put them in cans to get them out to the public. And at that point it was like June, and late June, in fact. And it was like, well, some of the laws were relaxing. We could open 50%, gloves and masks and stuff. So we were like, all right, we just took a bunch of chairs out of here, and we're like, we'll just sell 4-packs to go, just a soft opening can release. And yeah, dude, we were completely overwhelmed. If you guys were there that weekend, it was insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
there were
so
people
many.
camped out in the yard over here.
Yep.
It was really nuts. So, I mean, super thankful.
Good blessing
very
to have.
humbled. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I couldn't even imagine.
And not that it was a good thing, but because of the pandemic, other breweries were kind of suffering, and
especially if
having
you're in Nashville, they couldn't even open.
they
It
couldn't
wasn't
Right.
as
open,
flexible. So.
Yeah.
and in a way that kind of helped us because we have some great friends that helped us, like you said, with the contract brewing. So like shout out to all of them. Spencer from Little Harpeth, now Barrique Brewing and Blending.
Love Barrique, man.
And you know, plus
East Nashville beer
known
works.
Joel forever. He's in the same industry I work in. And
Briar Scratch.
Briar Scratch was our staple
Oh man,
for
they
a
were
long time.
absolutely our workhorse. Those guys are amazing.
And they'd let us come in and do the beer, so it wasn't like we were just always, you know, having someone else do it for us. We were there, and yeah, so shout out to all of them. Sean out at East Nashville, and we were able to get beer out before we were able to have our own
Officially
system.
open the doors and everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. Those are stories you don't hear enough of, just how supportive the craft beer community can be
Absolutely.
for other businesses.
Yeah.
and
Sure.
Just
Yep. And still
love
to
hearing
this
it.
day, those are all our people. you know,
Absolutely.
And we,
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like we were just
Collaborations
total
coming out.
newcomers. These were friends of ours. I mean, we had been around and to festivals and competitions with all these people. These were our contemporaries that have all gone on to open breweries. You know, in fact, when I was working at Mayday, Sean Jewett from East Nashville came over and did some work over there while I was working there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
man.
moved around a little bit before he even opened East Nashville. So, you know, it was just sort of like everybody really wanted to help us out, and it was very humbling. It was super incredible, and
That's awesome.
great experience.
man.
Let's take a sip.
so hence dedication.
Yes, exactly. Cheers to you guys.
Yes, thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
Super dank double IPA.
Yeah, this is one of the 4-packs I got from that
Yep.
opening. I'm
Yep.
trying to remember the other beers that were there.
They had a Mitch. I think there was a blueberry.
2 scoops.
2 scoops.
Was it 2 scoops? I feel like this one was a stout.
blueberry stout?
We definitely had, I think, the vanilla Thrilla, but I think it was the.
Maybe it wasn't blueberry.
Was it
I had a lot of beer here
Peanut
that
butter?
night. Yes, it was. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
vanilla
what it
Thrilla
was.
peanut butter.
Vanilla Thrilla peanut butter. Yeah, that one was good. I ended up buying a 4-pack of Dedication. I think also that night. Yeah, that was a good
awesome.
one. Oh, something slipped my mind. I wanted to. Oh, you had mentioned, Jeremy, about the just how tight knitted the craft beer community is and all that. I feel like customers view craft breweries as kind of like maybe they're like the bigger breweries, right, where they're trying to fight for share. And while everybody wants a bigger piece of the pie, like it's not cutthroat where you're trying to. Everybody that we talk to, it's always, one day I ran out of this and I absolutely needed this. And then like this brewery came through and was like, yeah, I've got some. We'll come drop it off. It's just, it amazes me how all of you guys work together to bring everybody else up, because you're not trying to steal market share from somebody else. Again, who doesn't want, more revenue, but at the same time, you're not doing it at the expense of trying to
we're
put one of
helping
the other
each other
guys
out.
down.
Remember running over to Bearded Iris, like, Paul,
Oh yeah.
we need some bags and
So
or
the
some
first fresh
hops.
press, yeah.
The first fresh press.
Loaded
Like,
with Bibco
remember-
hops, baby.
remember when you
That's why
bought-
it was so
Big
good,
fan of
man.
Fresh Press, by the way. Like,
Like,
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
remember when we did that 5-gallon batch together?
Yeah.
Well, we need
Remember borrowing our mash tun? Well, now we need 22 pounds of mosaic.
It's basically an
calling
even
in the
trade.
favor, bro.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's awesome. And then kind of funny joke. Fresh Press came out with the hand picked beautiful Bibco hops
Absolutely.
from Paul Bond.
Yeah. I got a picture of Brandon Tarr like doing the Scrooge McDuck in a big.
Yeah.
So tell me again, the hops in this beer. You said there were CTZ,
CTZ, Amarillo, and Comet.
Comet hops. Okay.
Comet's kind of
Yeah.
like the little sister of Citra. So it's-
Okay.
It's not as bold or pungent, and
Yeah.
a little bit lower on the alphas. But
Okay.
you can really achieve the same thing if you're throwing late edition or
What's the biggest one that I taste in this? Would it be the CTZ?
that big
Yeah.
dankness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of underlying bitterness and kind of dankness that's coming from the Columbus Zeus Tomahawk CTZ hop. And then that kind of finish
Those
with
are
that
all
nice
big
Citra.
hitters mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
That's that Comet and Amarillo giving you that nice little
Interesting.
citrus finish.
That's awesome. I'm a big fan of this one, Mitch.
Yeah.
This was, again, I think Dedication was the first sip of a Panther Creek beer that I had, and it was
Awesome.
here. We showed up. I remember that night Woods Viking had the little COVID killer
Yeah.
bottles of sanitizer sitting
Absolutely.
on each of the tables.
Yeah, those guys are big buds.
You
too,
guys
so-
do a lot with them, I think.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, you guys are.
Absolutely.
That's where I go get my haircut and beard trim and
Nice.
stuff
well,
like
stay
that.
tuned.
and-
We're working on a beard oil.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Woods
okay.
Viking
That'd be great.
collaboration.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just
Heck yeah.
I'm about 2 weeks away from being out, so maybe I'll just
Yeah.
have to hold off on something. That's awesome. What do you think, Mitch?
I'm gonna keep working on this one a little bit, but we can go ahead and queue up the next.
Down
And
to
then
the next one.
As being one of the brewers here, that dedication is. People ask me all the time, "What's your favorite?" Well, it's hard to say when they're all your babies, right? Like,
It is.
This is my favorite kid. You can't really say that, but
Not at all.
I can honestly say when, like, even like last night, I was in here hanging out, and it's so nice to see everybody enjoying the beer. But I'm drinking dedication.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
I'm an IPA head. So
Yeah. You can
I
say
love the other beers too. but
Yeah.
That's probably of ours. That's
Oh yeah,
my
that's
favorite.
definitely the one I drink the
Dedication is like
most.
the
It's the one
one.
I first. If I'm only gonna have one beer and I come in, it's got to be a dedication.
Dedication.
Well, that's
So I'm old school West Coast hophead.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
It's
love
all
that
gone to
dank.
juicies now and everything, which we do all that too and love them. But it's nice.
Have
a
you guys
nice
tried the
West
Lightshow?
I
So
haven't
it's
yet.
our juicy.
I
with
had
the
that one.
terpenes.
I had that one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I'm like you. I'm more of a West Coast, like
That bitter.
dank hop IPA guy. A lot of I'm from Atlanta, but a lot of and we can get into this at another point in the episode, but one of the very first IPAs I had was like Stone Ruin 10.
Mhm.
And it was like, so for me, the definition of an IPA was 180 IBUs,
Right.
13%. You know, it wasn't like this really like juicy 20 IBU IPA
Yeah, it
is
was
what
an
I would
IBU
consider maybe not an
fight.
IPA.
It's
Yeah,
like after 100, your tongue can't even
Yeah,
tell. but-
exactly.
But we're gonna do 200.
Yeah.
yeah. I always refer to that as
We're
the
gonna wreck
IBU arms race. You know,
yeah.
it's the arms race of the IBUs.
But I mean, I do like the juicies as well. You know, fans
Oh, yeah.
of Southern Grist, Bearded Iris, you know, all of that stuff. If it's for me, juicy and hazy are kind of a little bit different. Like
They
juicy
are.
can
Oh,
be
yeah.
like orange juicy, but like hazy, like New England style for me is a little bit drier. And I like all those just the same. But if I had to say what defines an IPA for me, it would probably be more of like a West Coast style.
Yeah.
That was one
I
of
would
my
concur.
questions I had queued up here is which style, you know, what do you enjoy the most, but also out of all three, which one's your favorite to brew and
Right.
kind of that? It
Ooh,
sounds
well,
like
that would
West
be a
Coast.
If you
good
look at our
question.
menu, there's like 4 or 5 IPAs.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
everything else. So I think it's kind of obvious.
For sure.
I mean, you know, we will admit that we are hopheads, and so we
Yeah.
love playing with
Absolutely.
hops. We love. I mean, we're old school guys, so we like the old school.
Mm,
We like a
sure.
little bit of IBU in there too. But you know, I really enjoy messing with some of these new world hops.
Oh,
and Some of them
yeah.
are really, really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Hands down.
Some of the kind of cool techniques, you know, mash hopping, like trying to get some of those thiols involved, and you know, biotransformation. Like there's
Oh,
a lot
man.
of really neat, cool things that we're just sort of learning about hops and like how you know we can use them
Different
better
kinds
and
of hops.
in different layers
Like,
and ways. Yeah, it's,
you got
it's fun.
like all kinds of like liquid.
Oh yeah, they're
version,
coming
like,
up with all kinds of neat stuff, man.
You know, it's
It's a bunch of really
it's
smart
like when
dudes in some lab somewhere, like
It's
coming
like
up
when
with
they
really neat
legalized
stuff.
pot. You know, everybody.
You guys
came
are
out with
fucking mad
50 different
scientists
kinds.
back there too, I bet. That'd be
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Got the mad part right.
Yeah, let's grab it. I'd say let's go for what was the recommendation that you mentioned? Did you
Uh,
want to go with
Which
the
one? The juicy?
light
You wanna
show.
do
Was it the light show?
All
All right.
Fresh pressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think I'm trying to. Oh, it was Hop Slam for me, the IPA.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
your first that was your first IPA?
The first one
Oh,
that really
wow.
took.
Yeah, that's-
because I had lighter.
have that
That's
on
another
draft here.
banger too.
Ooh,
We have the new one on.
nice.
Yeah.
I'd need to try.
It's a big 10.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's
This one's
it's
a little
awesome.
sweeter this year
It
than the
is.
other ones.
I agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I do enjoy it a lot.
Mhm.
But it's
It's always different every year, just a
definitely-
little bit.
yep, definitely
Yeah.
sweeter.
Yeah, that's right. You guys do have guest taps. Always
Yeah.
here all the time too. A good 5 or 6 of them, I think. Don't
Absolutely.
you?
We try to keep our friends on. Like we always have a Barrique or
Mm-hmm.
somebody's bearded iris occasionally. We don't do a ton of. We try to fill in what we don't have.
Right.
So
Something for everyone.
you might not see a lot of bearded iris
JT.
only because we already got 4 IPAs. But we'll put their Pilsner on, or you know, something that we don't have. If we don't
Mhm.
have a stout, then we put on a stout, a breakfast stout, or
Keep
a-
it well rounded for all the
or
different
whatever.
styles of beer.
Yeah, so that there's something for everyone. Always have a cider, and we
Mm.
always have a mead.
Yep.
Oh,
Always.
Because I mean, like if you go somewhere with the old lady,
Yep.
there's nothing for her to drink, then we got.
Do you
go
have
somewhere
any
else,
ciders here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yep.
my
Yeah.
And now we got Unity.
And
so we got
inevitably,
that
someone's
covered.
father-in-law's there too, and they're
That's
like, "What's
true.
like a Bud Light?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "We got this Pilsner on."
uh-huh.
Pilsners are making a comeback
They really are.
in the
They
craft
are.
beer scene. They kind of went away in the name of super hobby IPAs, and then it got into like barrel aged stouts and how high can the ABV go, and now all of a sudden out of nowhere, like Pilsners and lagers kind of
Yeah.
started
Yep.
coming back.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
it's kind of like the respiratory system, right? It's sort of
Yes.
like woo, crazy stuff, and then it's going to retract a little bit. And we go back to
Yeah, we
classic
need to calm
styles
down,
and-
guys.
I mean, there's only so many like sour, slushy,
That's
lactose
right.
beers,
Man, yeah.
you can take in, man.
And then it's time on to the next one. Then
Yep.
yeah. So tell us about Lightshow, or is this fresh pressed?
Well, so this is basically a fresh press variant
Okay.
that we took 4 barrels off and racked onto the terpenes from the Northern Lights marijuana strain. So there's none of the CBD or no THC. It's literally just the lab isolated terpenes.
Nice.
So you're getting that kind of like flavor and aroma, and
It's
it
got
just
a
kind
real
of
nice
adds
nose
another
to it.
kind of fruity layer.
Mm-hmm.
It's got almost like I guess maybe it is fruity, but for me it almost smells like a kettle sour almost. It's got a little bit of a more tart, I guess, more tart, but it
It
I
has
imagine it's
more
not
of a
gonna drink-
floral tone to me.
That's the term
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
I always
Floral.
get
I
like
get
a
melon.
melon. Yeah, I always get a
Ah,
melon
okay.
too.
Melon, yeah, honeydew like.
Mhm.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, just a slight melon.
Mm-hmm.
Smells great.
And terpenes are fun. It's like another
Realm to
arrow
dive
in the
into.
quill
Mm.
or whatever, because
Whoa.
Right?
marijuana
Yeah.
and hops
It's got
are
like
in the
a
same
kind of a sweet
family.
fruity
Yeah.
yankiness
Yeah.
that,
It
has
it's like chewing on a
flavors, it
stem
has
or something.
all the different strains
Yes.
and kinds. So you start pulling all those out too, and now you're like, whoa, we got all
This
these
might
other
be-
new
think
flavors.
like
to add.
like
It's like a
like Sweetwater
taste
420
bending.
kind
Yeah.
of like kind of like
exactly.
Yeah, but
the
this
Dagger
is
series.
this is less weedy than
Avatar
something
the
like
Taste
420 because
Bender.
like
totally.
you smell
Mhm.
420 and
Well,
you know,
and so we found this company
Nice.
that does these terpenes, and we've experimented with a bunch of different ones, and this one obviously
right.
it just lends a lot better towards the kind of juicier ones because it's kind of a
Mhm.
juicier one. Now, something like Trainwreck, which we have also used,
yeah.
goes really good in the West Coast, but it is exactly like chewing on a stem. Like it's
Oh, wow.
Oh,
much more
man.
dank and got
Yeah.
that kind of resiny,
Yeah,
kind of quality to it.
This has got a killer flavor to it.
it does.
I love it. It's
And
got
it
that
goes
New
real
England style
well.
look to it though. It's got that real hazy.
Yeah, it looks like whenever I put Green Dragon into a gin and tonic,
There you go.
gives it a nice little haze after a stir.
And we're always partnering not only with breweries but everybody. Like like I said, Woods Viking or
Mhm.
Mm.
with
Donut Country,
Yeah.
Brass
Also,
Horn.
we also have some CBD
Yeah,
Mm.
from Canafam.
Canafam that we sell here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Really
know,
good
you
people.
get a light show, fire up a CBD
CBD,
joint,
mhm.
and,
Absolutely. Out on the patio.
and
Yeah.
This is some
everything's
cool live
kosher
music.
and legal, but it just everything smells good, and it feels
Yes.
like people feel like they're just hanging out in a different state.
I really want to have this with one of those.
Yeah.
That'd be.
That's
It's
a
it's
good
an amazing
combination.
pairing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, we have 3 or 4 different varieties and I would recommend the Citral.
The Citral one. All right.
Okay.
I'll have to figure this out. Look for later. This will be nice because
For your
yeah,
Sunday afternoon
Well,
enjoyment.
we've always done cigars and
Yeah.
stouts and
Yeah.
you know even
Exactly.
IPAs.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Exactly just like
Mhm.
that. Yep.
Just like that.
yeah, I can't wait to try the combo with this.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And you
Cheers.
mentioned the
Absolutely.
patio just a second ago. That's, I mean, within the last year, I would
Yeah,
think,
so
right? That's
it
relatively
came
new.
online the end of August last
yeah.
year. So we
We
really
only had
weren't-
a month and a half.
weren't really able to kind of
Mm.
capture the entirety of the season, if
Yeah.
you will. So this year we really would like to really hit it hard.
Yeah.
Comedy's coming back. It was a big hit. We only did it 3 times last year, but it got too cold, to
Right.
do it outside. But yeah, March 26th is actually the first one. So tickets
Oh.
are available right now on Eventbrite.
There
And
you go.
Panther Creek Comedy Night. It's great
Sweet.
time, super awesome,
It's
fun
awesome.
stuff. Funny
All the
dudes.
comics from Zanies, and
Mm.
they don't skimp on the comics. It's
Nice.
it's nice. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
A lot of the comics are over here at Liquid Smoke too. Smokes and Jokes. If you haven't checked that out,
I haven't.
Smokes and Jokes.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And it's coming up on the right time for it too. I mean, like other than this past weekend, like who knows? It was
I feel like this is the last gasp, right?
We said that last time though. I mean, like we were saying that last time.
Even the weekend before last, the porch isn't officially open because we have another bar back there, so you get your beers back there.
Oh,
you
nice.
don't have to come in.
That's awesome.
But we didn't officially open that. But everyone went out there anyway because it was so nice last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the porch was full, and it was like, oh, this is great, you know? It's awesome. Everybody, can we sit outside? Well, of course you can.
Yeah, and you guys are
You
wild
just
on
have to come in
social.
here
You're
to
always
get your
posting
beer,
pictures
but,
of the
you know,
outside too and all
It's
that.
not that far.
Yeah.
And hopefully it.
And we're right here by the Greenway, so we get a lot of foot traffic, bicyclers.
We had to do
people
something.
with dogs.
As you
For
see,
children
this
are
is
welcome.
Small.
Yeah.
It's very small in here, so.
How did the location here come into play? So I mean, like you guys took over the Green Dragon. That was the spot.
Yeah,
here.
we didn't take
Not.
over
I'm sorry. That's a bad choice of words.
Right,
Like, Green Dragon was here.
That was
and
a
then,
poor choice of words. Oh,
that was a poor. Oh, but
Shout out, poor choice of
shout
words.
out to poor choice of words.
You're welcome, Jim.
That's right.
Gotta help a guy out.
That's right.
Jim's
a good dude. We actually had them.
Awesome.
Jim and Shane, I think, were on
Shane.
here.
Yeah.
That was back when Shane had a beard.
Yeah.
And,
he does
it's
again.
back.
Already?
It's back.
Really?
Oh, man.
I saw him a couple, probably about 3 months ago, and like he just walked into the Casual Pine Smyrna. Head was completely shaved and like no facial hair
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Mr. Clean.
And then 2 days later, boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's already like
Damn.
years.
That's ridiculous how fast
I'm
people
jealous
grow
of
facial
I am
that.
too.
Man.
I'm
This is
super
taking me
envious.
like a year.
This is literally 40 years of growth right here.
So you guys, so Green Dragon was here, and then unfortunately for them, it just kind of, they had closed
very
down.
unfortunate. I mean, we were really
we
good friends
love
with
it.
them as well.
This
good
was-
people.
yeah.
I enjoyed
That
coming
was
to the
our
Green
place
Dragon.
for sure.
And then this place sat empty for a while. It
6
seems
months.
like.
Yeah,
or
6
more.
months or so. Yeah, I mean, this was not the original plan. We had designs on another area and another building, and
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then this came open, and it was just like, well, we
fell
could either
through.
wait on that and do a bunch of stuff, or we could hit something that's already sort of close to ready.
Was the plan? Was that location in Murfreesboro as
Correct,
well? Or
yeah.
did that?
Not,
Oh, okay.
a block or two from here. Yeah,
Gotcha.
no, we always we are of Murfreesboro. We want to be part of Murfreesboro, and
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily just like we don't want to be a business in Murfreesboro. We want to be all about Murfreesboro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's sort of speaks to some of these collaborations we're doing in town that are not with breweries.
Mhm.
Other big staples like Brasshorn Coffee
Right.
Company, Donut Country.
Donut
You don't get
Country.
more Murfreesboro than Donut Country.
No,
Right.
not at all.
And just things like that. We want to do stuff with the park service.
Yes.
There's talks of trying to get a frisbee golf tournament going.
Nice.
That
We're
we'd
gonna
like to do.
sponsor a kickball team.
Yeah, sponsor a
Or
kickball
league.
league.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the plan's community involvement,
Absolutely.
place
Oh,
for
yeah.
families to come and
Oh,
hang
yeah.
That's
out and chill.
fantastic.
We do a lot of charity stuff too.
That's what I like. That's
Panther
what.
Creek is for the kids.
That's right. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Yeah,
Beer
so
for kids.
As a
wait,
guy,
wait.
drink responsibly. I've got a 2-year-old, and there have been times I've talked to Mitch about this before, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. Like, there are places where you just, growing up in a traditional family style home, it was like drinking's bad, smoking's bad, doing all this is bad, almost to the point where it's like you're not going to heaven if you do this. But at the end of the day, people that drink good beer and people that are just here are here to relax, fellowship, and enjoy people's company. And I was in Asheville, North Carolina, and I was actually hanging out in New Belgium, and I was looking around and I saw, people that of about our generation, our age, they were outside, they were enjoying the beer. Their kids were running around out in the fields playing cornhole and stuff like that. And I go, I wonder why, we've been told growing up that stuff like this is bad for families, and it's bad because the whole point of going someplace like that is not to get shit-faced and smashed and then not be able to drive home. It's to just enjoy company and being outside. So I very much appreciate that you mentioned like places like this and community involvement is for families, because it allows people like me, to be able to say, I'm going to take my kid if my wife isn't feeling well, or if she wants to even come too, then all three of us can just come and hang out.
Absolutely.
And just kind of enjoy stuff for a while. And nobody feels like they're out of place when they show up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anything can be taken to extremes,
Yes,
right? And we all know that alcohol can be used for bad stuff, and if you use it to excess, a little bad. But none of us here drink, like you say, to get shit faced. We're here to appreciate and to have a good time, and that includes my family. Like if I go somewhere and my family and my kids are not allowed, I'm not going.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, we always have been family friendly, dog friendly, all that stuff. We'd let you know if like I would don't bring your kids to the comedy night.
Oh
please.
no, it's definitely rated R.
Very, very rated R.
Yeah, it's a completely different show. 7 o'clock show, 9 o'clock show, two different things.
But most of the time, the food trucks and
especially during the day on
we
a
don't
Saturday.
carry a lot, but
Yeah.
we did Halloween. We gave out candy bags to the kids.
That's awesome.
And painted all the adults' faces.
Yeah,
Nice.
had face painting.
And there are times
to have been
when
kids,
there are places and times where adults need to get away and just kind of unleash a little bit. So there's time and places for that too. And by no means should those places not exist. They definitely exist for a reason. It's good to be able to have both.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a random memory came to mind about the Green Dragon. My wife had mead for the first time with when Green Dragon was open.
Okay.
Yep.
And we visited 2 or 3 weeks ago when Shane was here with his pierogies.
Oh no,
And,
were you here for that debacle?
Yeah. Oh, Shane.
That was amazing.
Yeah. It's we love the pierogies because he makes them too big,
Yeah.
but
True.
they're so good.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
we're a fan of the pierogies, and you get a meal with Shane's.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah.
we showed up.
No, the food was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there were the tacos too. Someone.
yeah, he did the pulled pork tacos. Yeah, actually, Melvin did a couple of test runs with because we're gonna eventually start getting into a little bit of food.
A little bit into the food
preparation.
preparation.
Yeah,
Nice.
So did some tests and he used them on them street tacos. Yeah.
Now,
was
is that
awesome.
place still a kitchen back there? Like, is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Or could be a kitchen.
Could
kitchen.
be, yeah.
Could be a
And-
kitchen.
I mean, it's
so
it's
there's a lot of
halfway there.
limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're kind of figuring our way around those limitations.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Yeah. I can't remember. We were here with you one night when it was Green Dragon with somebody. I forget who it was, but yeah, mead of all things. She's not big on alcohol. Liquor is too harsh. Beer doesn't taste good. That kind of thing. Ciders, gypsy cider for a little while was kind of what worked. And then mead, there it is. It clicked right into
mead
place.
stuff.
Doesn't take a lot. She's only like 110
sweeter
pounds.
mead or more of a drier,
More sweeter,
more
yeah.
sweeter, yeah.
I was more of the avocado, like not as sweet mead.
Yeah.
But she's all about the berries, blackberry kind of meads and whatnot. So
And that's
You
why
have
we
to
keep one
bring
up.
her some-
exactly,
Yep.
Meads
that's
and
what she
ciders.
got whenever we visited was the mead.
Nice.
So it
Cool.
totally
Yeah,
worked
glad
out.
that we
Some
could,
unity.
Yeah,
I
I should have
think that
got
goes over well too with people that aren't into beer,
Yeah.
even though it is beer.
Yeah,
And even
That's
people
a
that are
good-
like, I don't really like sours.
I know exactly
you know?
who he's talking about. I know he brought that up for a reason. We may or may not have discussed that before we started this episode today. I'm interested to try that one.
Yeah.
yeah. Now that you mention it, my wife likes sours too, but it has to be like not wine based.
Closer
like,
to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
It's the fruit.
I have to keep.
It's
She
always the
keeps me
fruit.
on my toes. That one.
Always the fruit.
Yeah.
Always the
Yeah.
fruit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, I know we have kind of a limited time, but
Yeah,
I want to
no,
get
we're
to
good.
at least 3 beers.
Yeah,
Let's do
absolutely.
it.
No, that's
So,
fine. Whatever you want to do is fine.
What
We're
do
on
you
your time.
think
Oh,
we should go
I think
in
we
which
do at least
orders?
like 8.
Oh, we can do 8. I mean,
I'm good with 8 beers. It's just whatever you guys want to be able
Because
to
there's
do.
so many different.
That's
We
true.
do
Yeah.
such an array
That
of
is
beer.
true.
It's insane.
Well, you want to do we can do the creek smoke and then do the cold smoke.
Works for me.
And then we get the new
Right?
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
really rad.
Whatever you
Yeah, I
guys
wanna
want to do.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
The new stuff that's not released yet.
Okay.
You guys are gonna get a first.
Fantastic. And I know we'll probably not have this out in time in alignment for when you release them to the public, but we'll at least have some intel if you still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It won't, it won't
can't
last
wait.
long.
So Mitch, just as a heads up, so JT's going to get a little bit more into this once we pop this open, but traditionally we do a lightning round at the end where we talk about where we bring a beer for these guys and we're able to kind of let them enjoy something that we bring as in terms of appreciation for that. Apparently we're going to switch it up today.
Sweet.
I didn't know this, but and he'll elaborate a little bit more when he gets back, but JT being from Montana, The Creek Smoke has a place in his heart, and that is what
Yep.
the Cold Smoke has a place in his heart, and that was basically kind of his vision when they were putting Creek Smoke together. So ironically enough, we're putting the two
Absolutely.
together today. So this is a
Whoa, the
very
stars
fun
fucking
story.
aligned for
Yeah,
that.
While
exactly.
we're on this subject, I'd like to bring something up that we didn't about our history.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's where
absolutely.
the name Panther Creek came from.
Oh.
That was on my list of questions, by the way. So please
So
go ahead.
It was like we said earlier, we started brewing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood that we're in, literally is the community in the area is called Panther Creek because the Panther Creek runs right by our houses.
Whoa.
And our third partner that joined in later on also ended up buying a house down the road right on the Panther
No
Creek.
way.
But we
Supposed
had
to
named
happen,
it that because as home brewers, everybody, buddies, partners, they name their little home brewery. And
Mm-hmm.
we were like, what are we going to name it? But we live in a neighborhood right off of the road. So it was, we live on Laredo Court. And we're like, we're not, in the West. Laredo sounds
Very
kind of
Texas-y.
weird.
It really
Does.
does.
It does.
Yeah.
Santa Fe's the next road.
That's just as bad.
And then they're like, Panther Creek. Yeah, the actual creek is right there. We walk along it all the time, and it
Makes
just seemed
sense.
to make
Yeah, it sounds cool.
sounds
Yeah.
And
cool.
then our guy Tom did the logo. I'm
Which
not wearing a
also
shirt
grew
now,
up
but
Yeah.
off of
So
Barfield
cool.
area,
Dude.
So we're actually in Christiana, but I mean, it's all Murfreesboro now. It's, and the creek runs through and goes into
The
Stones
creek
River.
runs through it.
So we didn't
Man.
want
And
to
also,
call
I
it
mean,
Stones River. That's for
It's
sure.
perfect.
The logo,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
guys
I
have
mean,
a
we're
badass
all,
logo.
We're all 70s babies and children of the 80s, and it's very Thundercat-esque.
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, big fan of the logo.
Yes.
I didn't know that about
Tom
Panther
Burns
Creek.
is amazing.
I didn't know because, obviously I don't know you guys' history, but all three of you guys growing up real close to each other and then living along the same lines, it's just Panther Creek just seems to work.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it clicked immediately.
Yeah.
That's what we're called.
Damn.
And then we went with brews because
Everybody's called
everybody's
brewing company.
brewery or
Mhm.
brewing company, and
And technically, we
That's very
weren't
true.
a brewing company at the time.
Yeah.
We were home brewers,
Yeah. Yeah.
Panther Creek
Holy
Brews
shit.
just seems to roll off the tongue too.
Cool though, right?
You know, you said
It is.
Panther Creek Brewing Company, like, yeah, that's cool and everything. But to your
Right.
point, everybody is brewing company.
yeah,
Some people are beers, so Panther Creek beers, like that'd be cool too. But Panther Creek Brews, it encompasses more than just beer. It's you're brewing something.
Mhm.
It's not, so it kind of subconsciously creates this feel that even though it might be all beer, like you don't feel like you're going to a beer bar. You're going to a
Yeah.
brew location.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
like that.
that's what we want.
I love the fact that this beer aligned for today's conversation.
Yes, let's
I
get into
know,
that.
right?
I've got a-
Nuts, man.
I've got a friend who moved and relocated to Montana up there, and he sent me a care package from Montana,
Oh,
and this was
so
one of
cool.
them.
Yeah, look, I'm from Montana, man. Made in Montana.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's my grandpa right there, the little with his pack string.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Man.
That's funny, dude.
So
Yeah.
do we want to do the Creek Smoke first, or do we want to do?
What do you think?
Or do we?
That's-
Just get
that's up
another
to them.
glass
They-
And we do them side by side.
Let's do that.
Let's do them side by side.
Yeah.
I'll start chipping away at
Thank
this. Unless you want to take care of it.
Go
Mitch,
for
but
it,
I don't
man.
mind.
I do.
I do. Yep. 1, 2. We can do it.
Anybody need waters?
No,
I'm
I'm
good.
good. Thank you. I'll do a little rinser there.
Yeah, we got the
Gotta
big
rinse.
cup.
Mitch, this, by the way,
Dude,
yeah,
Super clutch.
big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a Hicks bottle opener,
Yes.
I think. And I forget where I subscribed to even get access to it, but the very first batch, they're all handmade, 3D printed with magnets in them that catches the cap. And
I love it.
you can
Yeah.
slap it anywhere. It's got a strong magnet, so you throw it at a fridge, it'll stay.
Sticks.
Yeah, and it's got the wax remover that
And
I
the
think that
natural
one's
light on the side.
yeah,
like-
a bottle opener, and then yeah, he does good work. That thing, it's awesome. Only thing it needs is a
Oh,
glass
man, that
breaker
couldn't
like
be
everything
any
else.
Closer in color.
Oh,
I hope you don't mind. I'm just pouring for you.
No, that's fine.
So tell us a little bit about, let's get into this a little bit while we're pouring it. JT, we've got Cold Smoke from Kettle House Brewing, and then we have Creek Smoke as well. Did you get this one? Here you go. There you go. So we've got Creek Smoke from Panther Creek Brews, and then we've got Cold Smoke from Kettle House sitting side by side. So and you said there's an interesting story behind this.
So I'm originally from Missoula, Montana, which is where Kettle House is, and Kettle House is actually like my favorite brewery. And like every time I go home, like the thing we're always crushing is Cold Smoke, and it's really rad that you guys brought a barrel aged Cold Smoke here.
Wow.
I literally emulated
That's insane.
Creek Smoke sort of in that vein. I mean, Cold Smoke is normally about a 6% beer. It's very rich, malty. Cold Smoke sort of denotes that thing of when you hit fresh powder, and then that the snow when you're skiing, and that's Cold Smoke.
Oh, nice.
And so I always loved that beer. We drank it all the time. When I got home, I was like, we're gonna do a Scotch ale, but I wanted to do it a little bit bigger, little more muscles, you know, a little
more wee heavy.
Yeah, a little more heavy, a little more smoke, a little more roast, and a little bit more ABV. So ours comes in at 8.5.
Wow.
Whereas this is their
That's their barrel-aged
is
version.
8.5.
Yes.
So same ABV as their barrel-aged version. And I guess as I'm looking at it, ours is just a
Lot
tiny
darker.
bit
Tiny
darker.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 4 or 5 SRM darker.
Just a little.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
so that's pretty serendipitous that you brought one here today.
Yes.
I'm super interested in trying that one.
Which one do we want to try first? We're going to do them side by
Hey,
side.
we're
Yeah,
at
we can
Panther
do some-
Creek.
Let's do the
taste
let's
it.
do the
do
Panther
the
Creek one
let's do
first.
the Creek Smoke
Yeah.
first.
Let's start.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, Creek Smoke. I like the Scotch ale vibe to it. I like the malts. I like the maltiness flavor
very
to it.
nice.
It's super solid.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's also one of my favorite beers. Again, it's hard to say. Like, just as he said before, it's
Yeah.
like they're all our babies.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I love this one too. Oh, I love this one
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You can say you
I
have a
love 'em all
favorite
for
when you
different
have one
reasons.
kid, but
That's true,
if you
right.
have more than one, you're not allowed to say
Right.
that
Right.
anymore.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Campfire.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
This is campfire beer
cool
right here.
weather,
Absolutely.
sitting
Yeah.
outside. You know,
Yeah.
it was really nice when the snow hit yesterday. I was drinking some of this.
Yep.
Very well hiding the 8% too.
Yes.
In this
Thanks,
case,
man.
like
And
Yeah.
if you like cooking with beer,
Oh man, I
ooh.
just
Oh,
made
my.
chili last night with Creek Smoke.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
a killer.
Oh, yeah.
ooh, that
All
would be
the time.
good.
Brats
or any
would be
kind
good.
of
Brats would be good too.
any
Those are
kind of
amazing.
barbecue, just
Yeah,
all
any
that.
rich roast pork. I mean,
Oh,
anything
yeah.
Our
to
guy's
cut through
single
that
tree
fat.
that comes out.
How do you
barbecue
incorporate something
truck
like that? Like if
uses
I'm
it.
smoking, like say I'm smoking a brisket, I'm smoking a pork butt or something like that. Like put it in the pan, you know, before
Yeah,
you wrap it, or are
absolutely.
you talking about
Yeah, you can
injecting?
do that.
Like,
You
what
can
would
inject it.
Okay.
You can kind of make a little bit of a paste with
Yeah.
your rub, you know, instead of just a completely
Ah,
dry
yeah.
rub.
Yeah.
A little bit of a pasty rub. I mean, obviously you're not going to use a whole lot of it, but
Right.
just to get those ingredients
Yeah.
wet, just
You
so
drink
it'll
the
stick on
rest.
there real good.
That'd be
yeah.
good.
Then you drink.
It's less to
as
drink
you
the
go.
more you use,
That's
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Drink, pour.
Don't let it go to waste
That's
by
right.
any means. Yeah. Big fan of
That is
big
damn
fan
good.
of Creek Smoke, and 8% again. Not that 8% is just out of this world high ABV,
No,
but
shit.
most 8% beers start to kind of taste
little
a little
boozy.
bit more,
Yeah.
or at least alcohol-y than
Mhm.
typical. But
the
this one
cherry
hides it very
smoked
well.
malt kind of comes in to play with the alcohol. I feel like
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Now I want to try it alongside the Cold Smoke.
I know, right? Let's
yeah,
do that.
let's have
Yeah.
this one. It's barrel
smell
aged.
Off the nose. Let's smell
Yep,
the
that's
oak.
it. Yep.
That's rather smooth.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is.
Yeah.
That is nice. Yeah, very nice.
Huh.
Ooh,
Definitely, you know,
that barrel ended
yeah,
great, nice too.
Mhm.
it sure did. It not too boozy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's
it's this one was. Yeah, they said it's bottled in September of 2020, so this one
Oh,
was.
time to age
It's
a
had
little
some
bit.
time to kind of mellow out some a
Mhm.
little bit.
I was a little worried about it, to be honest. But
Yeah, I could see
Oh,
that,
man.
but you know, being that it was the barrel age, I think would have saved it some. You know, to
Well, and the maltiness. I mean, you know,
Mhm.
grain-driven beers generally hold up really well.
okay.
You know, stouts, Scotch ales, wee heavies. I mean, as long as the provenance is pretty good and it's not like getting hot, getting cold, getting hot,
Right.
getting cold, and there's not
Yeah.
a lot of DO or something in the bottle or the can. you'd be all right.
Yeah, I'm glad because
no,
it
that's
stayed in my
phenomenal.
apartment at like 69 the whole time. So
Nice.
Good number.
Yes.
Yeah.
69.
Bunch of us dudes.
Perfect.
Well, this one last night. So Mitch has been spending the whole weekend and the last few days moving around and stuff. So I've been trying to kind of like let Mitch do his thing, but we got down last night and I'm like, because we always do whenever we like to come on site and talk
Kind
to
of a
people, we always bring
pre-show.
something for you guys and say, hey, you know, this is what you guys are letting us sample your stuff and you're taking time out of your day to come talk with us. We wanted to bring something for you guys. So we always have kind of a
Yeah,
good beer
that
that
was
we
perfect.
pull from something. And I'm like, what do you want to bring? I
Didn't
have
even
something
know.
if you don't. And then we're just kind of like going back and forth. And I go, I have this one that you brought from last time that we never actually opened. And you're like, and Mitch goes, yes, bring that. I was like,
Perfect
okay.
choice,
So I stacked
dude.
it today.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
soon as we pulled it out, JT looked
Perfect
at it
choice.
and went, that's the one that we're supposed to drink
Dude,
today.
that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
That
It
is
is.
wild.
Absolutely nuts.
That
We-
works
we
out.
Like you
brought
said,
it.
every beer has a story, and
Sure
you
does.
brought the story.
Yeah.
Dude.
And craft beer as a whole has a story, right?
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
where our stories are getting together. Right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's what I like about it.
I love the community, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. Now, yeah, that thing was up to get drank a couple of weeks ago, right? 3
Mhm.
weeks ago or something. So I'm glad it didn't. This was its moment
Yeah.
here in Tennessee.
And-
Yeah.
Well, I got to say it's delicious. Big ups to Kettle House.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ours is better. Sorry, just saying.
You got to be partial, right? Like it's just how it is.
No,
Well,
kidding.
it
I
goes
love
back
that.
to that
It's
whole
amazing.
like getting together with the brewing community. It's another brewery that
Oh, and
we
absolutely,
give our
dude!
hats
I
off to.
literally sat there and talked to the guy, and he just told me the recipe. I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, this is something that we sort of learned coming up in the Mid-State Brew Crew, though. It doesn't necessarily. You can have the same exact recipe.
Oh,
we
yeah.
all used to. We'd do big brews, and we would have one big batch of grain. We'd all mill it at the same time,
Yeah.
and everybody'd get a batch, and they'd all
Yep.
go home,
Mm.
and it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9
Wow.
brews.
And
That
just
are the
all
same
different.
beer,
the
same
exact
recipe.
same
Yeah, and it'd
recipe.
all be different beers when you got there at the end of the table.
Wow.
But it's
Different
you know,
systems,
it's the
different
system.
methods.
it's the music you're
that's-
listening to.
Mm,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's everything.
Damn.
It's the whole
Mayday,
vibe.
I think actually I took a tour of Mayday. This was a few years ago, and like
Mhm.
Ozzy would. That dude's crazy, but he's awesome. But like you would sit down and he'd pick one person out and you'd sit in a wheelchair and then you'd like roll them around the brewery and he just gave them access to his Twitter account and they could just tweet whatever they wanted and he would always fill in your beer up and on the side of every single tank there was a recipe list and he was like, take pictures of it, go home, brew it yourself. And he goes,
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
giving away the recipe. He goes, but it's not going to taste the same because every single
Yeah.
person brews beer differently.
Correct.
right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't mind telling people. It's
No.
it's not a secret.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Maybe there's a few methods you might not get out of us, but,
Right.
But that's what makes it cool, right?
but
Because
not much.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that family recipe right there.
Yeah.
That's what makes the.
It's a special sauce.
Yeah.
anybody
That's
can
right.
make macaroni and cheese. It's,
Yeah.
it's how it's made that
That's
makes
right.
it good,
But
right?
if you ain't got my playlist, though, you
That's
ain't right.
Note to self: get JT's playlist. Replicate all the Panther Creek beers.
That makes me think of a Monday night in the Hop Hut playlist that Kylie does.
Peter, shout out to Peter Kiley. That dude, he's got a. So we were in Atlanta.
It was last year.
Was it last year? 4 months ago?
September?
September?
November? Yeah.
And he has a. It's called music. They have a hop hut in one of their locations, so it's basically like all their experimental IPAs and stuff like that.
Cool.
Monday night does,
Mhm.
yeah. It's in their Monday night garage
Yeah,
location.
They're cool.
And he says
fun.
that he creates a playlist every year on Spotify and you can find it. And then he just, every time he's brewing one of those IPAs, he's always listening to the song. And then that's how the IPA comes
Yeah.
about.
Nice.
So you kind of alluded to that a little
Yeah,
bit.
dude.
You're like, I have a playlist. Like,
Absolutely.
it's just like
Yeah.
nobody can
Well,
replicate my
yeah.
playlist. You have the ingredients, but it's
I'm
what's
telling
in
you,
here.
dude, it literally is the brewer's mood when he's brewing.
Yes.
It can determine. I mean, I'm very like holistic and kind of wishy-washy a little bit there, but science is heavily involved, obviously. But I feel like part of that science is a little bit,
Well, there's
Some of that
focus,
heart
focus,
and soul.
you know what I'm
There's
saying?
the mad
it's heart and
scientist
soul in
part
that
there's
to
thing.
an
it.
art. Somebody
It's
can
that
be
cliche.
an
It's like you taste that love. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's what's happening.
somebody can be an amazing brewer and know every single little thing about the
And still
brewing
make bad beer.
process.
Yeah.
And if you don't have art, if you don't have
Yeah.
passion or feeling, it's crap.
Yeah.
I
True
mean,
story. Well, the consumer can taste it. They
Yes,
can tell.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I won't. It's a lot of the bigger breweries. Nobody around here by any means, but some of the ones that have gotten so big that you used to drink back in the day, and you go, "Oh, this is so good. This is what I used to drink when I drink craft beer." And then all of a sudden, one day you just realize you're not drinking them anymore, and you go,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I used to have that. I don't know why," but it's the ones that you see everywhere.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
that is a perfect example. I mean, that is because they lost their soul.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I felt like I missed something just now. Mitch and Jeremy over here laughing for something.
It kind of sounded like Fat Tire.
Yeah.
This Creek Smoke is great beer, I gotta say. This is really good. Getting back to actually, the cold smoke is really good. For me, barrel aged beers are better in stouts.
Yeah.
And this is a good combination, but I prefer the Creek Smoke over the cold smoke as well.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Take
actually,
that.
both
I
are
mean,
really,
thank you.
really good.
I
But I
agree.
would take the Creek Smoke over the cold smoke just because I prefer,
And
if
the
I'm drinking
barrel-aged
a,
version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, we did that. In a
Yeah.
I can't
It was
not-
amazing.
Yeah, we
used a
did
short
that too.
mountain, a 15-gallon.
wait a
short
minute, you
mountain
guys did a
of
barrel aged Creek
Creek
Smoke?
Smoke. Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
it was crazy good.
Oh, I hate that I missed
Yeah,
that.
it was
Damn
so
it.
short. Literally
But it-
3 sixtels, and it went quick.
Really?
Our barrel program hadn't started yet, but when it does, I mean,
Oh yeah.
we took third in a nationwide competition with our barrel beers. So
Wow. I'll be looking
that's
forward
when
to
it was
that.
homebrew. It's a little
Oh.
different when you gotta go through the system.
When you got to
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
There's a couple more rules and regulations to follow, right? And I'm sure the whole
Might take a
scale
little more.
thing has a piece
and
to do with it.
space and
Yeah.
there's a lot of things.
Is it really just multiplied times 50 to kind of get the big version of it, the
Oh, no,
commercial brew version,
absolutely
or
not.
does it actually change a whole lot?
I
from
wouldn't
home
say a
brewing
whole
to-
lot.
The methodology is obviously different.
It's relevant, like inflation, like a swell. Like think of like a balloon filling up. It's not staying exactly square. Like
Mhm.
you're not just taking the recipe and multiplying it. You are in a way, like you have to make more of that beer, but there's certain things that are gonna the amount of space, especially with barrels, if you have a small barrel versus a big barrel, how long it had whiskey, when it had whiskey,
Surface
how many
area.
times,
Mm.
surface area. Same thing with tanks size. And there's a little bit of change that comes along with it. If you just do 50 times this certain kind of hop, you might have got a crop that was fresher or older, and you kind of got to feel it out. Like, does it really need this much, or is this batch going to be different if I think there's a little bit more to it.
There's
than
more involved.
just math.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's how,
Well, I mean,
the math is the start.
especially on the
Yeah.
ingredient side. It's
Mm.
they're all commodities, right? So it's like you grow the hops, you grow the barley. Like
Yeah.
there is a great deal of consistency in modern hops and barley, but there still is some variety and variation
Yeah.
to each. Good case in point, like especially in the hops. So Barrique did a Cascade Pale Ale, but they did Cascade from 4 different regions. So they did Cascade
wow.
from like Yakima in Washington. They did some
So
from
even
Oregon.
changes there,
They did from
too.
South Africa
Yeah,
and
I
New
didn't
Zealand.
think about that.
And the same
all
varietal
different.
of hop, but grown in a different terroir. You know what I'm saying? Like lend a different kind of feel
weather,
to it.
soil.
Weather,
Right.
soil, yeah, all that
Bugs.
stuff. Growing
Yeah.
conditions,
Everything.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And so all those
Playlists.
things come into play.
Playlist.
Huh?
Playlist.
That's a great name for a beer.
Yeah. Honestly, it really
Hey,
is.
Don't
Huh?
let Paul hear that. Sounds like a beard Irish thing.
Playlist sounds like a terrible name for a beer.
Yeah,
Nobody should ever do
That's
that.
dumb.
Yeah. Big
Man.
fan of Creek Smoke.
Hell yeah.
What's the ABV on this one again, JT?
8.5.
Was it
It's the
8.5?
same,
Okay, yeah, 8.5.
They had to throw theirs in whiskey barrels to get 8.5.
To get it to happen, yeah.
I mean, so I'm drinking
Yeah,
this, I'm
different
crushing, and I'm
style.
like, this is really good. You know what'd be better? If it was a little bit bigger and tougher. you know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And also,
6
like,
months
Creek
later, we're
Smoke,
gonna
it's
see.
not like I just totally ripped it off. Like Creek Smoke is a thing. It's
Yeah.
like in November, you're sitting here drinking this beer. It's nice, smoky campfire.
Mm.
Everything, like the day is real hot.
Yeah.
It's 80 degrees in the day,
Oh,
but it
man.
cools down at night. And then Panther Creek runs right by our
I
house.
love the name
and that
Creek Smoke.
Fog
'cause
rises up off
Panther
the smoke.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
up off the creek, looking like
Incidentally,
smoke.
JT's son's
love
name
that
is
book.
Creek.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
Creek.
Creek
man.
Creek, Hudson, Gowan. Yep.
works for me.
Yeah, we
That's
all
all
in,
right.
man.
Yeah,
I named
that's
my kid
right.
after.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall. That's right.
Yeah, he comes in here. He's a ham too. I don't know if you guys
I have
Yeah.
ever met him or not, but he is nuts, dude. He's like, oh, that's my name on the wall, Panther Creek Brews. He's
Hey, the world
5.
is his, man.
Yeah, he's 5. so he's
Yeah,
nuts.
who cares? No,
Nice.
he
Did you, were you
it's a
guys?
fun
You
age.
guys are on that virtual beer share.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we
Yeah.
did? I don't know if you guys seen
With the
me or not,
Nashville
but my
Craft Beer
kid was,
Social
like
Club?
climbing all over my head and stuff.
I remember seeing you.
Were you
and-
solo that night?
Yeah,
I was,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
And you were
came in
drinking
from
all
the
of those
house.
beers?
Well, I didn't drink a lot of them. We had tornadoes out in our
Yeah.
area.
Oh,
so
okay.
we actually had cut down early.
Yeah, me and
was hiding
Melvin
in
were
the bathroom.
here, and
Yeah, and
He
I was
was-
at the house
Gotcha.
out on Panther Creek.
That was a good time though, virtually, just seeing everybody.
That
and
was cool.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That was I think that was the first one I had ever
Mhm.
done with the Nashville Craft Beer Social Club, and it was
Yeah.
virtual.
what do we
and-
have? Dope Whip.
Yes.
Mhm,
Dope Whip, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We're gonna
Mitch,
do that again too.
Dope
Yes.
Whip. I like that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of an homage to sort of like that, one
Dole.
frozen drink that you get.
Yes.
That one
This all
Disney thing.
pineapple
Yeah.
and kind of soft serve.
The one that's
Yeah.
got soft serve
Yeah,
ice
yeah,
cream.
yeah, yeah,
and-
Yeah. Nice little sour.
There was a lot of good beers that night.
yeah. There were a lot of beers that night too.
Yeah.
I feel
Sure
sorry for
were.
anybody who tried to do that solo
Oh
because
man, that was
you
a
and
lot
I
of beer.
split that. What was it $50?
Yeah.
$50 for the whole thing, and I was
Mhm.
like, sure, $25, I'm in. And then like Mitch comes over with like this
A big ass
Clink.
box.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit. And they were, and like, because everybody was on camera, right? When they're, and I'm looking at some of these people, and like, some people had 2, some people had 3. And then there were the solo guys that were just sitting. I'm like, where's the other people in those cameras? And I
Yeah.
was like, ooh,
Oh,
they're
and
going to
I
have a
was
rough
in
morning.
for
Yeah.
like a few in and out.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Double. Go ahead.
Nathan handled it very well for the virtual event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
He
good.
did
We've
good.
had a couple of in-person ones since.
Mhm.
Most recently at Cedar Tap
Yeah.
in Lebanon.
Mhm.
There's another one coming up too, I feel.
Yeah, I don't remember the date.
Yeah. The virtual one was cool though because I mean everybody was that forced people to get innovative.
Yeah.
The whole lockdown, like nobody wants to go back to that by
No.
any means, but it was very interesting to see people get innovated during that time.
Yeah.
Because you guys opened up right during the height of that.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that earlier, like
yeah.
March, everything just went like shut down, and then you were like, well, we got to figure out how to
Yeah,
do this.
we were
here.
supposed to
Yeah,
pivot.
pivot. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, nowadays, I think that this pandemic has shown the beer community that the big model of like, well, because everybody knows that volume is how you make money.
Right.
So you got to make as much as you can and get it all the way out and all that stuff. But then the pandemic kind of gave one of those unforeseens, and there's a reason why it's called unforeseen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because you don't see it beforehand. But so now it doesn't behoove you to have the biggest, most volume pushed out there.
Right.
You need to be small enough to be able to
Pivot. Yep.
yeah, be nimble, and kind of turn and change on a dime. Because
Smart.
that's
Pivot sounds like a terrible name for a beer.
come on, don't do it, anyone.
Don't do it, anyone. Nobody create the name Pivot for a beer.
Oh,
coming up with all-
just on a side note, we have really good lawyers, and we aggressively defend our word marks.
Word
Intellectual
marks.
property.
I like that. Yeah. That was solid. Putting those two side by side was a good decision.
Y'all made me feel like
Yeah.
I went down a memory lane with what you all told us, so I really appreciate it. That was,
Yeah.
that
Thanks,
was
man.
awesome.
Yeah, that's dope.
Well, we want people to know too that we're real. This
Mhm.
isn't
Authentic.
Yes.
this isn't a hey, the craft beer thing's huge. Let's get in it.
Yeah.
Make
Right.
some money
Yeah.
because that's
And
not,
those breweries
not
exist,
reality.
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
breweries exist, and this is no fault to anybody. It's like, again, Mitch and I are going to Asheville at the end of the month. And it is amazing how you can park in the center of downtown and throw a rock at 15 breweries, and 10 of them all taste the same. You know, but then there's those ones that are out there that are like, they're striving, they're trying to do good, and you can tell that they're just trying to be different, and not necessarily be different, but be community focused, right? Because to your point, most of the ingredients are the same. You know, beer only requires 4 ingredients, but it's the playlist that makes everything different, and that's what attracts people to a brewery like Panther Creek, where they can say, like, I can go anywhere and get an IPA, I can go anywhere and get a Scotch, I can go anywhere and get a porter or a stout, but this one tastes different for some reason, and I can't figure out why. Well, it's that ingredient
I think, and kind of as a consumer, like I consume things that I sort of feel a kinship to, and so it's about creating a personality and kind of like a culture that you identify with,
right?
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so it's like, you know, if you like what we're doing and you sort of like that personality, then you're more akin to coming here.
Yeah.
To your, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all art, you know, food, beer, music. You know, I feel like all our beers, like the playlist thing, it's funny because, I mean, Dedication is a hip-hop playlist. Creek Smoke, you listen to Clutch.
Absolutely.
24K, you listen to Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Bruno Mars, baby.
Dude.
Born of Fire, you listen to Slayer.
Come on.
That's right.
Hey,
That's literally where that song came from.
where you have all this for people to
Beer
just
Nation.
join in on it.
On a side note, I used to work at a company where one of our .NET developers, he's a huge Slayer playlist, and he was actually their drum tech for about 1 or 2 summers. So he actually got to tour with Slayer. He was in England. He was in this was back in like probably 7 or 8 years ago, and he would just tour. And we're like, dude, give us an update. Send us pictures. What's going on? And he would respond back for
Paul
hours.
Bostaph.
Huh?
He was with Paul Bostaph, then their second drummer. Yeah.
So Chris is a really cool guy. Shout out to Chris.
Which Paul Bostaph actually, strangely enough, worked at or had a brother that worked at Red Lobster here in Murfreesboro when I did as a teenager.
Small world.
Whoa.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. He'd be like, yeah, my brother plays for Slayer. And I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No.
He's like, no, he does.
No, for real.
He's like, he's the drummer. And I was like, he's definitely not the drummer. And he's like,
From
no,
the hard
he
knocks of
just joined them.
Murfreesboro.
And I was like, then I start looking it up, and it's like, wow, the drummer quits. New drum. And I was like, holy crap, it is.
Yeah.
Shit.
JT brought 2 beers out.
Yeah, these are ones that have not dropped yet.
Ooh,
But I just
gotta try it.
Yeah, we're gonna do these first, and then we'll go back to the one that is sort of like clean all of our palates. and
Okay.
whatnot.
Sounds good.
So the first one is a collaboration we did with Bad Idea down in Columbia. If you guys haven't been there,
Yep.
Amazing.
Have been a bad idea, bro.
Yeah, super dope. Cool space, amazing beer. They're just like
It's our
really cool people.
Third one that we've done with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, we
You're
really
even
love it.
you're rocking their swag
Absolutely.
today too.
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we initially came to him, it was like, let's do some collaborations here, right?
There you go.
Mm.
So when we initially approached him about doing some collaborations, I was like, let's do something that kind of like messes with people's heads. Like, let's do like a gold stout and a black IPA or something like that. And so, he came up with the idea, let's do a gold stout. Let's do a carrot cake gold stout.
Carrot
So that's where this kind of came from. So 10%. We literally in this beer right
it's
here,
a
we
big boy.
literally use 60 pounds.
Hang on, this is 10%.
Yeah, 10%.
Holy
And we use
shit.
60
He didn't even
pounds of
check.
actual
No, I
carrot
didn't.
cakes.
He just. Yep.
Whole carrot cakes.
Whole carrot
Wow.
You'll feel it.
60
You
pounds
guys
of
posted on
That's
that on
nuts.
your Instagram
Pretty
account
crazy.
too. So you had like you were
that-
holding cakes in your
whole
hand.
cakes. Just
Yeah.
toss them in the
Yeah.
mash.
Just tossing them in.
tossed them right in there.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then on top of that, there's some, lactose, vanilla, cinnamon sticks, nutmeg, basically all the like kind of like nice spice that you
Powdered
find.
cream cheese.
Powdered cream cheese.
Powdered cream
Absolutely,
cheese.
yeah.
24K.
24K.
I like the
24
name.
carrot cake.
Oh.
Gold ale.
Okay. That
24
makes
carat.
sense. 10% golden ale. I don't know if I've ever had a golden ale that high of an ABV before.
Yeah, I mean, it started, like I said, it started out as kind
Good.
of like a gold stout. I mean, there's no like technically there is no style. Right?
Yeah.
We're just sort of making it up. I mean, people do gold stouts, but traditionally you use like coffee or something like that to kind of get that like roastiness or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but big dextrin malt, no
Yeah.
coffee, so it felt bad calling it a stout.
That makes
so
sense. Yeah.
Gold ale.
It looks nice.
It
I mean,
does.
It's completely a dessert beer. I mean, it's to be 10%, it's still pretty sweet.
Yeah.
When I saw 10% golden ale, it really threw me for a loop. I'm just gonna say because
It went really well. So we did the first time we did it on
It
his
tastes
3-barrel
well,
system,
too.
and it went so fast. So we were like, well, let's just pump that one up.
man, my beer mentor before podcasting, he did a podcast called I think Big Foamy
Big
Head.
Foamy Head. Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, so a little inspiration, right? And he always told me, at least he's got some years on me, but he
He has a lot of
mentioned-
years on you, Mitch.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. I was trying to be kind, Richard.
I don't have to be. He's not my former boss.
Once removed.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So but he was always giving shit to golden ales. Like if you have to give the beer a name that's the color, it's not a good beer kind of thing. But that doesn't always apply.
Well, I mean, I'm not mad at that. That's
No.
fine. You know.
But that's just one of those things. Like early on when you're learning about craft beer, and you look, it has color to it. It has a nose. It has like all these appearance things that's supposed to invite you in. But yeah, anyway, I always have a conflicting idea against that message. And but 10% golden ale, I was like, holy shit, what is this about? Because it's all sorts.
Yeah.
It's just banging around my brain.
And if you
because
look
of-
on Untapped, it's one of the highest rated beers in Tennessee.
damn.
Yeah, I mean,
This is
literally,
our second time.
So we've
doing
done
it.
this, like
Nice.
I said, on
Oh,
his
really?
3-barrel system. Yeah.
We did it on his,
And it went so
system
fast,
first.
we figured
Ooh.
let's bump it up. You know?
Okay.
Turnabout's fair play. We did it on his system.
Yeah.
We'll come do it on the 15-barrel and put it in cans.
Fuck.
And
I
you
like
guys, this 15-barrel system, it's not here locally, right?
Correct.
It's-
Yeah, we have a lot of production in Franklin.
That explains why you're able to actually get the volume that you guys do and still
Yeah.
stay a small local brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is you can focus on some of like your experimental stuff here, but then you can like
Yep,
dedication
exactly.
and stuff like
Wrap
that. You
it
can
up.
put, yeah, that makes
Again,
sense. I never thought about
volume
that
game,
before.
Right? So we
yeah,
gotta get some volume out there to make some money.
yeah, absolutely.
Dude.
Also,
Kind of the model, the Asheville, model, right? How some of them have, they have their
Multiple
small
locations.
ones downtown, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah, I mean,
production
ultimately,
facility.
Burial
we
does
love
that.
to
They've got their
reconcile
yep.
Yep.
production
Which
and
one of
taproom
my
and everything
favorite.
into
Oh,
one
yeah, hands
facility.
down.
But right now, Murfreesboro is a little bit
Hands
behind the
down.
curve on some things. That Nashville, Davidson, Williamson County are already ahead of the
Right.
game on.
Yep.
Right.
And so it just behooves us. We're a small business. I mean,
Yeah.
as you said before, we don't have any investors. We literally do everything we can out of our own pocket.
Yeah,
Mhm.
how much
Then the
change you
business
got in
makes
your
its own
pocket,
money.
man?
yeah.
We don't have
Well, shit,
like,
we
big
can't
money
brew that
behind
this
us,
week.
what I mean?
Pretty much.
So we are bootstrap guys, and
Dude,
it's
that's
just,
what
it's
I
just
like.
cheaper for us to produce
Yeah.
to produce the in Franklin. But ultimately, we'd love to reconcile all
Yeah.
production and R&D
Right.
and taproom all under one
That
facility
being
here in
said,
Murfreesboro. That's where we want to be.
Going out to the people who are fans of our beer and buy it, thank you so much, because we do not skimp on ingredients.
No.
Mhm.
As far as, like you said, trying to do things as cheap as we can production wise, but beer wise, our beer is not cheap to make.
No.
I don't know if anybody's bought 60 pounds of carrot cakes before.
But that ain't cheap.
It's
I can't
super
imagine.
expensive.
yeah.
And gallons
some of the
of
fruits?
of real vanilla.
I mean, I got 700
Oh,
pounds.
like
That's
the
not
vanilla
cheap
beanstalks and
either. Yeah.
everything.
We
Oh,
do not
shit.
do extracts.
No, I got 700 pounds of fruit in Unity, which is the
Yeah.
third
Oh,
of my
yeah.
track.
Yeah.
That's a
All-
lot of. That's a
All
lot
the
of
fruit
fruit.
of
flavor
fruit.
is real. I mean, we don't mess around when it comes to that, because it's. I mean, I don't want to drink perfume. I'm
No,
just saying.
no.
Again,
yeah.
much like the love, you can taste that at the end.
Yep.
Yes.
Very much.
So, and then we price our beers pretty
Reasonable.
reasonable
Yeah, it's- I was gonna
for
say,
as much as
yeah.
we spend. So once again, we don't make as much money as
And
other
also, we
breweries.
self-distribute. So
It's all about the passion.
we're able to kind of keep that in house,
Right.
so we can pass that savings on to the consumer.
Especially nowadays, it's It's
It's
tough.
critical.
Yeah.
That's hard because I'm also brewing beer and delivering beer, you know, and Melvin, our business guy, is selling the beer and delivering beer, you know what I mean? So everyone's doing double duty. You know?
Yep.
Jeremy's producing beer and doing all the marketing and stuff. So it's like we're all doing multiple hats, you know, and it's just.
I get the multiple hats game.
Oh yeah.
It's a heavy load.
Oh yeah.
I only got the one head. So it's like,
Swap the hats out.
Dude, I appreciate the label art, by the way, on all these cans.
Again, Tom Burns,
Loving it.
everythingburns.com. The guy's killing it.
Yeah.
All your cans are different. Every
he's
single
in
one of
Arizona
your
now,
cans,
but he's
arts are
Murfreesboro
different.
native. I played in bands with him. We grew up together. He's in Arizona now, designing for Scottsdale motorcycles, Harley Davidson, like all kind. He's been an artist as long as I've known him.
That's awesome.
I will say one quick
He
note
is
about the
amazing.
24 karat, the carrot cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zach Johnson from Bad Idea. That's Zach Fox. I got too many Zachs and too many
Yeah,
Johnsons.
there are like 9 Zachs.
Hashtag too many Johnsons
Too
involved.
many Johnsons.
Sorry, Zach.
Sorry, Zachy. So Zach Fox, a Bad Idea. He drew this. So if you've been to Bad Idea, you know all of his tap handles have hand drawn,
Yeah.
like cool little things, and he's doing that stuff. And so he was like, just incorporate my carrot cake on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, his menu is just drawings, and the beer names are amazing. You need to look it up.
Yes.
I stumbled across them on accident.
They are sentences.
We were at where
Yeah,
was
they
it?
are.
I think we were at
paragraphs.
where were we? There's another brewery and tap room out in Columbia.
Asgard.
It was at Asgard. You're right.
Common law now.
And haven't been to Common
Spring
Law
Hill.
yet.
Yeah, Spring Hill.
Well, yeah.
This was-
close.
It's very close. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say this was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. We were out there, and I was like, we walked in and had some beers, and we were just driving around. I'm like, Columbia's really fucking small. I'm from Atlanta, so I mean, like,
Yeah,
you know,
Columbia's
like
small.
anything if you're not Atlanta or Nashville is relatively small. And we're like, what's this Bad Idea Brewing? So we made our way over there, and there was some food truck, and we're like, tacos and whatever. Sure, why not? And didn't even know Bad Idea Brewing existed at the time. We just stumbled across them.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
You know, so, and I'm sure nowadays they're a lot more. They're producing a lot more than they were at the time. It was just this, small shop.
But, I mean, it's still a small
it
shop.
still
Yeah,
is.
he got a 3-barrel system, and he's just rocking
3 barrels.
them out there.
Good
It's-
for
Yeah.
him,
He
man.
doesn't do a whole lot of distribution. He has a
He
couple
rocks
places there that,
Yeah.
that do it for him. But
Good for Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
Good for Zach. Yeah.
Fox.
He's a
Zach Fox.
He's a librarian. by
Too many
day.
Johnsons.
too many. Hashtag too many Johnsons.
Terrible name for a
Now,
beer,
all
by
of a
the
sudden, I
way.
feel like I'm on a different local podcast now.
No, that's
Talking
a
about too many
perfect. That's a
Johnsons.
perfect name.
That's the 1 a.m. in the morning podcast that you're on. Too
Welcome
Many
to
Johnsons.
Too Many Johnsons.
Oh.
Today, let's see what Johnsons we have.
That's right. On the video podcast of Too
Austin
Many
Powers.
Johnsons.
If you want to view the live feed, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Featuring
We're
JT
available on
from
Patreon
Panther Creek
as
Brews. This is sweet, but it's it's really good.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I was
carrot cake.
It's
Yeah.
crazy sweet.
I was-
But it's
I was-
also 10%. So it's like it's weird because like 10%, like you'd think it would
it doesn't
eat
it
a lot
doesn't
of sugar,
drink
but there's still a
10%.
lot of residual sugar. And also the spices that are used in
Yeah.
there also kind of like create the illusion of sweet. So what sweet
really
that there
does.
literally is kind of enhanced by the vanilla and the cinnamon and stuff that you already associate with sweet things.
Yeah.
That aftertaste is all carrot cake.
Yeah.
I definitely
Awesome, man.
Hands
agree
down.
with the
Appreciate
message on
down.
the can. Like
Yeah.
more of the cake.
Mhm.
Like it's there.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
This is
I'll-
awesome.
When this one comes out, I'll be getting, if you guys are gonna sell them in like 4-packs,
Yep.
then I'll probably pick some up.
Absolutely.
My wife is not huge on. She likes stouts, and then ciders. But every time we go, her and my place is like J. Alexander's. I took her there one time, and she's used to chicken tenders and whatever, and we took her to J. Alexander's, and like the
Open her
dessert,
mind.
yeah, like her dessert was carrot cake, and so like every time we go, I'm like, okay, we'll get carrot cake, because I'm not a huge carrot cake fan, but I get it because she loves it. But I always end up eating a couple. But put it in fucking beer. And I'm down. Like,
Yeah.
this is really good. I
Definitely.
really like this.
Yeah.
So when this comes out, I'll definitely be picking something of this up because this will be something that she can get down
Yeah,
on.
we're not distributing this, so it's only available in the tap room here, and then in the tap room at Bad Idea in Columbia. So
Oh, nice.
Both
he also
places.
has
That's
cans
cool.
available.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's a bad idea.
Sometimes a bad idea is the best idea.
It's
you
the
know what I
best
mean?
idea.
Yeah, the other one we did with them was back to where when I first initially contacted him, was like, let's do a white stout and a black IPA. So the gold stout turned into this, and the black IPA turned into a Cocoa Puff infused chocolate milkshake IPA.
hell
And
yeah.
it was so crazy.
hell
It was
yeah.
amazing.
Cuckoo for chocolate IPA.
Yeah, 'cause it was nuts, man. I mean, it was
Cuckoo for
literally nuts.
chocolate
But when
IPA.
you tried it, it like did this like
Also
ninja.
highly rated on.
It very highly well, and rightfully so. It was crazy. I wouldn't have thought
So
it,
good.
and to hear the
Damn.
description of it, it's like, oh, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was low.
Very
we
popular.
used we used something like 17 family packs that was like 1.2 pounds
Jesus.
of Cocoa Puffs or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, just
loads of
seeing
mosaic.
seeing the boil or the kettle.
Oh, it looked
and
like a
was
bowl of cereal.
Shit.
and
That's great,
the
though.
mashed
That's what
tun
you
looked
want.
like a
It totally
bowl of
did this
cereal.
like weird ninja judo move on your tongue. You would drink it, and the very first sip would be like this luxurious chocolate, silky cocoa puffiness, and then like halfway down, that drink would turn into this like the most fruit forward mango pineapple-y juicy IPA you ever had.
Huh.
It was so weird. I
So
mean, it
That sounds
worked,
wild.
but it was crazy. It
It
was
w-
like,
I
it was
don't
like a
know how it
chocolate covered
worked, but
mango
it
or something.
worked like a mug.
Whoa.
Yeah, it shouldn't have worked, but it did.
Man.
It was like a chocolate covered
A lot
mango.
That's where some of the best
saying
ideas
this is
come
like
from,
when
though.
you eat a bowl of cocoa or we'll just say
Chocolate.
cereal,
Crazy chocolate cereal.
Crazy.
and then you drink the milk after,
Yeah.
and it's so good and sweet and
Yeah.
creamy and
Man.
Yeah, and then finished with like
And
a
then
bowl
finish
of
with an
mangoes.
IPA.
Yeah.
That's
It was
wild.
nuts,
glass of
dude.
orange juice next to it or something.
That's hard to put together.
I
in my
can't
head.
imagine
yeah,
that.
That's
No, it sounds weird, but
yeah.
I wish we had some
Damn.
on hand. but
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do
It
that
was very
next.
talked about for that alone. Like
Jeez.
this shouldn't work, and it works.
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah, it was
the
ridiculous.
Untapped's
everybody-
a cesspool too.
I know. Yeah,
to
we
get
thought
good
we were gonna
ratings,
get
it's like
destroyed
shit.
on that.
All right.
I'm always curious. We love talking about that.
Oh,
So how
Untapped
does-
is
yeah.
Untapped. It's
Well, it's a double-edged sword,
It
right?
really
so,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna
Yeah.
inevitably get those like,
I think I talked about it on.
I
the
don't like
live thing
sours,
that we
1
all
star.
did.
Like,
yes.
why
It's
would you
like-
even?
Then
drink
why
it,
would
man,
you
know?
order a sour?
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You
But
get
so
people.
when
our
we do
menu
get
is
good, I'm like,
Untapped
all
and-
right, all right.
Yeah.
There's so many people who just don't. They don't take in consideration the work of a beer, and then they just
Yeah.
go, "I don't like sour, so this is a 0.5 out of 5." Like, well, don't fucking rate it if you don't
I
know
know
you
you drink it.
And then on the other side of the fence, though, there are those. There are breweries that go, this is not the
True.
best beer in the world, but we spent money on it. Let's put it out anyway.
Right.
And while obviously Panther Creek's not one of those, and the people that we talk to have never been that, there are bigger breweries out there that just go, we spent so much money on it. We talked to Ryan with Living Waters
yeah, right.
about that same exact topic, and he was like, we're not gonna, he goes, there have been times when we spend money on beer, and I'm sure it's happened with you guys too. You spend money on beer and you take a sip and it's not how you turn out, and you go, this is going to have our name on it. We don't want it. And you end up dumping it down the drain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other breweries that just put it out because they got to
Right.
make a buck.
I mean, and that sucks. And we also need to make a buck, but I feel like the intrinsic value of not putting out good beer, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's better for you. in
You
the long
lose
run.
yeah,
more money that way.
it's
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
served to
You
dump that
lose-
No
$1,000
one's
down
gonna
the
buy the
drain
next beer because
than to have that bad.
Their
'cause-
memory is just tainted.
Yeah.
That one person that's going to try one
Absolutely.
beer
Yeah.
and going to go,
Well, you never
just
get
didn't
that
work
second
out, and then you
chance for
lose
that
'em.
first impression.
right.
So, with a market so crowded like beer, craft beer, it's like you don't get a whole lot of chances. And, there's not a lot of like brand loyalty in terms of like, I only drink this or that.
Mhm.
Right.
But it is a lot of like brand trust. So it's like, I know Panther Creek
Brand
puts out
loyalty.
good beer. And so I'll try that next one because I'm willing to give you
that
Exactly.
benefit of the doubt. But if I lose that, then they're much less willing to try that next one.
And that word of mouth,
Especially
is
when
a
I come out
bitch
with some
sometimes.
crazy shit like Cuckoo Puffs and fucking, and Mosaic.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna try that?
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
So-
sense.
That was damn good.
Yeah.
I'm not a carrot cake fan, but that would turn me.
Yeah,
It's-
well, I
it's
said
like
the same
liquid
exact
carrot
thing.
cake,
I
right?
was like, I'm not big on carrot cake,
Yeah,
but put
yeah.
it in beer and that shit works somehow.
All right. Well, I guess let's
it
stay in the
shouldn't work.
dessert.
Sure.
Pop that
vein.
one. So this is a tell us a little bit about this one. This is the Donut Country.
Donut Country collaboration. Yeah. So, like I said,
Love
we
Donut
are
Country.
a business of Murfreesboro, and another business of Murfreesboro is Donut Country, and they've been around for 40 years or something like that. This beer is literally a fusion of chocolate, blueberry, cake donuts. It's one of our.
I
decadent
love their
pastry
blueberry
stouts.
cake donuts. Right? Like that's
Yes.
what I
Yeah.
order when I go to
Yes.
Donut
Right?
Country. Cake
That's why
donuts
we
and the
use them.
blueberry. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
It's very rich and chocolatey. I mean, to me, well, I won't say my descriptors until you taste
Oh
it.
shit, that's dark.
I mean,
It's got a little bit of a
stout.
blueberry
It
hue to
Yeah.
it.
does have a little bit of a blueberryness to it. Blueberries are not as
Oh,
strong of
yeah.
a flavor as chocolate and roast.
nice.
So,
Now this isn't part of your
unholy.
the Unholy
Creations.
Creations. Okay.
No, it is not.
Okay.
It
And that's
smells
and that's
wonderful.
just simply reserved for you guys' stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like this is a collaboration, so probably doesn't
Right.
fit that bill.
Absolutely.
But your peanut butter, like Unholy Creation Stout, was awesome. Your cheesecake, like
Yeah,
that
the
was
coffee
probably my
espresso.
favorite out of
Yeah.
like both of them
Well-
were really good.
Well, I mean,
but
that
the-
was
the
the brass
cheesecake
horn.
one.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, right? Bottom line, when you do a collaboration, you have to think about both brands.
Equal parts.
Correct,
Yeah.
right? So you can't like bully one or the other, and
Right.
so like if things don't make sense to one party or the other, then let's find a ground where we can actually collaborate,
Right.
which is actually what collaborate means, right? Like give a little bit and you give
Yeah.
a little bit, and let's
Right.
just like sort of work
Also,
together.
Fusion is the name.
Yeah, because fusing it together.
There you go.
I will not refuse it.
Oh gosh. Mitch and his puns.
That's not a good one.
That's not a good one.
I
That's
thought it
one
was
that didn't
pretty
land.
funny.
Collaboration.
Oh, man, I love Donut Country though.
Donut
They-
Country and Panther Creek Brewers. This is the blueberry cake donut
Yeah,
stout
chocolate, blueberry.
fusion. What's the ABV on that one?
That one is also at 8%.
I don't want to get
8.5.
fixated on it. 8.5. Okay, that's not bad.
Okay, that's what the
That
can
could
says.
work.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's got. So JT, you poured it, and I guess maybe it's just from the angle that I'm sitting, but there's a little bit of like a blueberry hue to it.
Yeah, no, there is. There's absolutely
But
a
there's
ton of
it's
blueberries in there.
definitely a stout.
I mean,
Like,
so this is a 7-barrel batch, which is 250 gallons ish,
okay,
and there's 88 pounds of blueberries in there. So I mean, like on
That's
a
a good
scale
portion.
ratio, there's a lot of like
That's a lot of
actual
blueberry.
blueberry.
Nice.
yeah.
Not to
The
mention there's
chocolate is
12 dozen
overpowering.
blueberry donuts in it, and 12 dozen chocolate donuts in it as well.
That nose is just donut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love it.
It's very cake donut.
Yeah.
Cake donuts are my jam too. Like,
It's so good.
people like the airy, like
Yeah.
donut.
The
I was like,
crispy
no,
green
give them
ones,
something
yeah.
that's got
Yeah.
some substance to it.
And it works
Oh,
better
man.
in the mashed tuna as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
That's crazy, right?
Taking a sip, chocolatey.
Very
Yep.
chocolatey.
Very chocolatey.
Yeah, glaze kind of
Got that glaze in it.
blueberry. Yeah, I'm gonna fill mine up here real quick.
That's already
Ooh,
one compliment.
That's good.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I
Man.
always get like the aftertaste. Like after I've had some and I'm sort of sitting back, I'm like, it feels like I just ate a Tootsie
It's
Roll.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It
Tootsie
stays
Roll
with you.
melted
chocolate
Like
chip.
the flavor
that
just
Tootsie
stays
Roll's
with
right
you,
on,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
And then it's
What inspired that one? So I mean, like obviously,
literally
it's
Donut Country's
Is it because
blueberry
it's
and cake
Murfreesboro
donuts.
and Murfreesboro?
Yeah,
Right?
Murfreesboro, and
Literally,
I mean,
that's
we,
the best ones. I
whenever
have.
we do things like this,
That's
because
really
we've
good.
done things like this in the morning, and when we
Yeah.
host stuff like this, like it's always about Donut Country. We have Donut Country. Also, their breakfast sandwiches are amazing. Let me just plug them for a
What?
second.
Did
So
not
we
know
eat
they
their
had
breakfast
sandwiches to
yeah.
take to go.
It is so good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have stopped and picked
But
some
I mean,
up
you
on the
know
way
what?
here. Had I known that, that would
I
have
go
been
get
awesome.
coffee
go
from
there
Brass
almost
Arm.
every
I go get
morning.
donuts from Donut Country. So it's
Yeah.
like, and we love the blueberry and chocolate donuts. It's a awesome flavor combination. Everything that we do is
It is.
very culinarily driven.
Yep.
And so
Well, my wife
Seemed
is
like
like,
serendipity.
I know I've got an Adonis
Love it.
figure, but like my wife is
Huh?
a runner, and so she just
You
like,
ain't got a dad bod. You got a father figure.
I got a father fit. Whoa.
Oh, you like it. You like it.
Dropping knowledge over here.
That's not the beer talking either. That's just a good quote overall. That's
No.
really good. But my wife likes
good.
to run. I've got the father figure on me, right?
Mhm.
But so whenever she does her half marathons or whatever on the way home, we always stop at Donut Country and we pick up a dozen donuts. That's just,
Oh.
and we always get something. So I have come to know Donut Country as like, when she gets done running 13 miles or whatever, it's like, let's go get. She can have whatever she wants
Yeah.
when she gets done running 13 miles, and she's always like,
Damn right.
I want
Yeah.
some donuts from Donut Country. So we always go pick them up and things like that. It's cool to see a collaboration of like two Murfreesboro businesses
Absolutely.
coming
Yeah.
together and doing something like this, because as a beer guy, I appreciate taking another local business and incorporating it into a brewery. And I'm sure places like Donut Country are really glad with having a brewery in the area collaborate with them, because it raises both businesses up.
Yeah, well, you
At
know,
one time.
rising tide, right?
Yeah.
Raises all boats.
Yep.
I mean, they're like I said, they couldn't be more Murfreesboro centric. I mean, they are second generation Murfreesboro owned, you know,
For a
and so
long
And we
time
won't
they've
give
been
away
here.
things, but there's more
Yeah.
coming.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yep,
Oh,
yep.
Damn, I do miss Donut Country. I had a long transit to Mount Juliet for when I was in the vet business, veterinary medicine, and that transit was long, so I'd get a few donuts.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah.
the sandwiches
I drive
so
to
much.
Nashville every day. And I
Yeah,
go
you've
right
got the
by
same
there,
commute
and I'm
then.
like,
Dude.
I gotta have some of them breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
on the way.
2 locations or 3?
I
Can't
only
remember.
knew of the one
have
at the
two.
time.
2
but-
locations.
Yeah, one just I think opens up a small amount of time and just makes donuts. And then-
Yeah.
Is that the one near Mercury Boulevard?
yeah,
or
the one
yeah.
over by the college.
That's the one.
Okay,
I know
that's
about.
that's
And then
why I
the
didn't
one
know they
on-
made breakfast stuff,
the one
because
on
that's the only place
Memorial
I've been
is the
to.
one that you'd go, and it's open late
Gotcha.
night, early morning, like
Yeah.
all the time.
shit. Okay.
I
That's not
don't
the place
think
I've
it-
been
is
to.
it
No.
20 I don't think it's 24 hours, but
I don't think either 24/7,
I've
but
been
one of
by
them
there-
might as well
I've been
be.
by there
because-
at 10, 11 p.m.
Mm.
Grab some donuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I miss Murfreesboro.
Yeah, I've left here. I've left here
Yes.
after some music and
Mhm.
hang out and stop by, grab some donuts.
You guys ever have metal nights?
We have some like punk rock stuff coming
Sweet.
up in April.
All right.
Really?
I'll have
Yeah.
to. I'll definitely
That'd
need
be
to
a
swing
good
by.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it? What era? What era of punk?
Well, it's local bands.
Oh, local
There's 4
bands?
of them playing.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah! All right.
All different kind of genres, but there's a little bit of
Oh,
punk rock.
I
in
need
there.
to.
And,
I definitely need to show up
an
for
art
that.
show April 9th.
Mm,
There's gonna be 8 artists, 4 bands.
That'd be a good time.
that's gonna be an awesome time. Yeah,
It ought to be good.
dude.
But I haven't officially made a metal night yet, but I'm
Mm.
planning on it.
I was looking.
I can't wait. I've been looking for so East Atlanta has got that metal scene going on still.
Sabbath
yeah.
Brewing.
Yeah, yeah. But Nashville's scenes are slowly kind of dying out here.
I know.
I hate seeing it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was so prominent, like in the early 2000s,
Mhm.
as I was in a metal band for 6 or 7 years, and we played everywhere, and there was so many people to play with.
Yes.
And I was doing collaborations then, like hey,
Yeah.
we can play together and we can do a song together, and
Uh huh.
it was fun.
Thanks.
For sure.
It's a weird time now for sure, and thank you. I miss a lot of it. The pandemic's a big player in that for short-term
Absolutely.
memory wise. It's just like, when did I go at this point?
Right.
But yeah, I miss those scenes, and I keep seeing the Exit Inn struggling. I don't know what the status is now, because it's just for many years it's been that way, it seems. But
Absolutely.
circling back to this blue, man, this donut is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call
That's-
it a donut.
That's we've
So
had.
that on the can too as well. That's
Which
so
one?
it's the donut shape.
Mm.
So it's called a Taurus.
Taurus.
Sort of like the Ford, but not.
Yeah.
So
It's like the same
actually
thing,
the
but different.
mathematical like construct that they hold nuclear fusion
Oh.
with a gravity field.
Shit.
It's called
Shit.
a Taurus.
We're drinking nuclear fusion beer.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it's like fusion because you're putting two things together. When you put
Yeah.
two things together in nuclear fusion, you get like amazing energy.
Nuclear fuel for the body.
That's what happened
Panther
here.
Creek donut milk
Donuts.
stout.
That's right.
Donuts is what's for breakfast.
Fuck yeah.
We've had a ton of good beers here today from Panther
Yeah,
Creek
y'all.
so far, and I'm
you're
not
really
trying
treating
to,
us to a good.
I don't
meal,
want to
man.
diminish anything, but I want to say that unit or this one right here, I said unity
Fusion?
like as a
Yeah.
stout. This fusion one, this is probably my favorite so
Sweet,
far.
dude.
The
Yeah,
IPAs
cheers.
have
Thanks,
been
man.
killer. I'm a big
Oh,
fan
yeah.
of Creek Smoke. 24 karat was just amazing.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that stout just hit me right. Like that was
Fantastic.
That's just what it. And it could be this the cold weather outside,
I mean, it's that.
but
right
it's just
weather right now
in
today.
a lot of beer that I drink is situational. That one just hit right. Like it was exactly what I was looking for.
It's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So
Y'all
big
are
ups to
doing
you guys.
amazing work here.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. We're
And
just trying.
You
man.
guys
We're
are
just
very hospitable to us too
grinding,
today.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
dedication, man. A lot of times I don't even know what day it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Just
get
put the
that.
boots
I get
on
that.
and go to work, man. Just
Yeah.
do it.
Lace your boots up and go
That's
with it,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
You just popped open another one.
I did.
This is Curious Panther.
Curious Panther.
Tell us about this one.
This makes me
So
think.
this
of
is a collaboration we did with Curio Brewing. How's the train audio? Is that messing with you?
I guess
Nah,
we'll
not
find
too
out.
Okay, copy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Curio Brewing Company. That's where we're doing a lot of the production that we do. So we have an alternating proprietorship with Curio and Franklin. That's where our production facility is.
Is that where kind of the name comes from? There's Curious Panther
Absolutely,
involved.
right? So we
There's
like
the
to
two
do a
of them.
little, it's like,
a word
they're
play.
very Curio and
Yeah.
we're very Panther.
Yeah.
and so-
nice.
But so it's a Belgian IPA. They had a bunch of
Ooh,
Belgian IPA, like Belgian strong ingredients laying around, and I came up with this recipe, trying to bring the Belgian IPA back.
Yeah.
It starts out like very bubblegum, fruity esters, kind of finishes with a little bit of pepper and citrus. So low
Shout out to
fermentation.
Michael Simich as well.
Yeah, Mike Simich. That's the our brew crew president.
That'd be awesome.
I like
Yeah.
the panther in the corner there.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
peaking panther.
Peking panther.
They peeking out.
He's
Belgian
curious.
IPAs get lost, in my opinion. In the world of everything's moving towards like juicy and
Yeah.
well, it has
Well,
been
and
for some
I
time
will
now.
say though, this to your point is juicy. It's juicy in the mud, and so I use a lot of techniques to try and keep the phenols out. So it's a lot more of the kind of fruity esters that you're getting, like a lot very
Bubble
bubblegum
gum.
up front,
Bubblegum, okay.
and then hops that haven't been. I mean, people use them, but they're kind of falling out of favor. Falconer's Flight. It's like kind of an amalgam of like West Coast citrus.
Wait, what's it called?
It's called Falconer's Flight.
I have never heard of those
Oh.
before.
Falconer's Flight.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Falconer's Flight 7C.
I'm not the biggest expert on hops, but I'd like to think that I've
It's another
heard of a lot of
blend.
them.
So-
This one's
Oh.
new to me.
This is
Hops.
actually sort of a hop
Really?
varietal that was super popular in the mid to late 2000s, about the same time
what?
that Belgian IPAs were popular.
Well,
you
shit.
know? I mean,
That's
and,
new to me.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, like
All the
it's
sea hops like Centennial, Citra.
yeah, Cascades and Chinook.
I'll throw down this
Wow.
description real quick.
Yeah, go
The
for it.
Belgian IPA sweet bubblegum esters from the Belgian yeast are complemented by the fruit, citrus, and pepper notes from the Mosaic and Falconer's Flight hops. This collaboration with Curio Brewing Company finishes dry and is sure to pique your curiosity.
Okay.
Who in the bushes?
That,
Who dat?
Man, Falconer's Flight hops.
That's
I'm
gonna be a
ashamed
new
to
one
say
to
that's
me.
yeah,
I don't
that's
know
new
if
to
I've,
me.
I mean,
yeah.
if I've had if it's common in Belgian IPAs, I've had
No,
Belgian
not
IPAs,
really.
but like
No, not really.
no, okay,
Nope.
No.
And in fact, Belgian IPAs,
We
like
don't
they,
do
like I said,
normal
they
very
had their
well.
sort
that's
of
true.
heyday,
You guys don't.
and then they sort of fallen off. But I mean, it was a style that we enjoyed, Belgos and
Mm.
stuff. And so we're like, well, we got all this Belgian stuff. Like, let's do something
yeah,
that will
Stone
really
had a
rock,
great
and
one.
let's bring it
Mm.
back. Yeah, talking about Stone Ruin 10. I mean, we
Yeah.
came up on Stone Ruination and
Oh, yeah.
Stone
Yeah.
IPA and Stone Belgo.
and you've got that West Coast kind of like IPA
Mentality
vibe in
anyway.
you.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's sort of where we come from.
So the pink label.
Yeah, what's
I
up
mean,
with
it
that?
takes a man to put beer in a pink can. you
Pink
know?
Panther.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, Pink Panther, right? There he is.
Yeah.
Roar.
Doo-doo.
Black
Yes.
Panther, but
Doo-doo.
he's
Heck
peeking
yeah.
around the
Doo-doo.
corner. He's
Doo-doo.
curious.
Yes. Yes.
He's very curious what's happening over there.
Yeah.
I love it. That
It's
the
a
can
great
pops.
play on words.
Yeah.
The Curious Panther.
Plus, if you look over at our to-go cooler, we like
Colors.
Oh,
Colors stand
yeah.
out. It's a crowded market.
Unity
we like
is
flashy. We
very
like
flashy.
colors. You know, we're gonna have some purples and
I mean, my man
And
does
yellows
lights for
to
concerts. You know what I'm
add.
saying? We're trying
Yeah.
to get your attention.
That's
Yeah.
right. Lots of colors.
hence Lightshow.
That's
Yes.
I will say I worked at a cigar lounge for a while, and one of the reps that came and told me, it was like you only have a few seconds to capture someone's attention.
That's right.
And so if I'm walking Total Bev, you know, if I'm walking Old Fort or whatever, and I see IPA, Stout, or whatever, it's like most breweries, or a lot of breweries, I would say, you know, they focus more on their art label than they do on the beers themselves. There's not a ton of them that like to focus on both, but if you make a really good beer and you are a consumer coming in looking for a really good beer, you're not going to know unless you can identify that label art.
Yeah,
and I said
exactly.
this at the beginning, you guys, all of your label art is completely different. And if you put all of your stuff next to each other, it sticks out because there's tons of different types of label arts.
Yeah, we got super
And
lucky.
we want to grab you with the art and then
Keep you with the beer.
With the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we got super lucky. Like it's all about like forming that team, right? And so Jeremy and I got the beer chops. We're making the beer that you're gonna drink, but in order to put that flashy label on there, like
Right.
we lucked out one of our best friends, Tom.
Mm.
Tom Burns, everythingburns.com.
Everythingburns.com.
Does
I
all
like
of our
it.
artwork
Yeah.
and stuff. The guy is amazing, man.
He's
I
good at
mean,
what he
it's-
does, just judging
For
by
sure.
the beer can art.
Yeah.
And it's so
Yeah, and this is just
it's so
beer
easy for
can
him.
art. He
Yeah.
does a lot.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does so
Man.
much more. But it's literally just like, hey, I'm gonna do something. I'm thinking about pink, and he's like, bam, and I'm like, oh man, is there any way you can put the like little Panther guy hanging out? And he's like, bam, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like he almost needs no direction. Like you just like sort of tell him what you're thinking, and then
And to your
Man.
point, it takes a real man to put pink beer in a pink can.
Yeah.
I drive a minivan too. What you know
I
about
guess
that?
you.
Oh yeah.
Father figure.
I guess we need to get,
Load up.
I guess we need to get Unity out.
Yeah, Unity is next for sure.
That's right. Yeah, that's the most colorful can out of all of them there.
Oh yeah.
Let's
It
get into
pops.
this
It's
Curious
good.
Panther, Mitch.
Yeah, man. Bubblegum's right off the bat.
Really?
It kind of reminds me of having a delirium tremens after like a robust steak dinner.
Okay.
Very specific
very
because it
specific.
was very bubblegum like.
Oh,
No,
that's you're right. That is bubble
Yeah.
gum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is Belgian IPA. Like that's
To a
that's what
T.
it is. Yeah.
You know, a lot of Belgian IPAs too. They just not, I'm not trying to.
They're
pat them
very
back too hard, but
carbonated though at the same
It's
time.
it's hard to like
There you
blend
go.
that kind of esters from the yeast with the profile of the hops. A lot of times I've had some that just it's not quite like a good meld. You know what I mean? And it sort of doesn't
This
really
one
play
works,
well.
though.
But I feel like this one, I feel like the mosaic kind of get that little bit of strawberry and kind of
Ooh,
sweet fruit,
yeah.
and then kind of finishing with that like almost spicy citrusness from the Falconer's Flight, and it kind of leans into the kind of pepperiness on the back end of that yeast ester, and so that bubble gum to the strawberry,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the citrus, to the pepper, just like it really kind of
Is there strawberry in this one?
no actual strawberry, but mosaic. One of some
Kinda
of the
lends towards the more
descriptors,
strawberry profile?
can be kind of a fruity strawberry profile.
Yeah.
This one, so bubblegum up front for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Strawberry, I taste a little bit of it, and I was kind of holding back on that because I didn't really want to like. I don't want to be like it tastes like strawberry.
No, you
Like,
can
well,
say what
there's
you
no
think, baby.
strawberries in this, Richard. But maybe it is the hop profile that's kind of alluding to that a little bit. But I taste a little bit of that. But for sure, the bubblegum and Belgian IPAs for me historically have never really been one of my favorites because, and I don't know why this is, but every Belgian IPA I've had has been way over carbonated, like super carbonated to the fact that, and it may not be carbonated, it may just be like too dry for me. It kind of gives it the illusion of like being over carbonated when in reality it's just dry finishing at the end, kind of like lifts off on the end, like a champagne-y taste. This one like has just the right sweet spot for me. I like it. It's got that bubblegum flavor at the beginning, really hoppy in the middle, but also lends to a little bit of a tart and sweet profile in the beginning, and then has that little bit of lift right at the end. So I'm
very nice.
I'm a fan of this one.
Awesome.
I got no further comments.
Sorry,
me think of
Mitch.
that.
Speechless.
It makes me think of the Simpsons episode of two people competing against each other politician-wise for like presidency or whatever, and it's John Johnson and Johnson John or something. Yeah, Jack Johnson. That's it. Yeah,
John Johnson.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. It's like, I mean, I could repeat everything in a different manner, but
It's better than the South Park one.
And I concur.
I'm pretty sure Simpsons are they still the longest running show
Yeah.
in history?
absolutely.
They get it every single time.
And they're bringing
Oh, you know
Futurama
what's so
back.
funny? I don't wanna
Good.
sound like a dick or anything, but we sort of like
yes, love
the
Futurama,
spaceship,
man.
yes. I love it. That's awesome.
he got Bender coming out of Uranus.
It's coming
No.
Oh,
And he has a beer.
that's
Of course,
awesome.
of course.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, getting back to the Simpsons South Park thing, like not to sound like weird or conceited or whatever.
No.
But we've been homebrewing so long that we've done like basically everything, and it was sort of this joke of where like we would do something and it'd be a big hit at our festival, and then like 2 or 3 other professional breweries would do that. You know what I mean? And it was always just sort of like Simpsons did it. Simpsons.
That's
did
right.
it.
Yeah.
Panther Creek did it.
Y'all
Panther Creek
called
did it
it.
first.
But now finally we can
Yeah.
finally be like, we actually did it first. you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this one. Curious Panther is really good. I saw when you guys posted this. I'm trying to remember when you posted it. I know it was on your social, and I was looking at it, I was like, "Ooh, Belgian IPA, that could be good." And I was like, "Oh, Belgians are not typically my thing, but I'd be willing to
Around
try it just because it's
Christmassy.
Panther Christmassy." Okay,
Yeah, the 17th is when that was.
okay.
Oh wow.
This one works. I'm a big fan. I like
Yeah,
it.
also, if you pick up any of our cans, we always put a little thing in the date code. So this one is obviously pretty in pink, right?
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
because it takes a
All
real
of
man
them
to
have
put beer
their
in a
own
pink
Yeah,
can.
this
Story
one
on the
is
bottom.
great idea because bad ideas are great.
Bad ideas are
so-
great ideas.
Nice.
But yeah, I think still smoking on the bottom of that
Shit.
one.
That was really good.
Still smoking.
We've been through the gamut, man.
Well,
We got a
I-
lot of beers.
I still got one to share up there.
And we have
And I think we have the Unity as.
Oh,
Oh,
Unity.
I knew he was going to go
Let's
grab
do it.
Unity next.
Let's do it.
Was it Unity he was going to grab?
Yeah, we should probably do
Yeah,
that
okay.
first.
Yeah,
right.
Unity is a sour, so it's gonna end it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I really like when hitting all these little sweet beers and stuff. They're good and they hit right where they should.
Right.
But then like when you go back with one of them tart beers, it sort of like just like erases the palate. It sort of like scrapes it all off and pulls it down.
That's right.
Yes.
It's interesting because in my mind we would go probably like, well, I don't even know anymore because you guys are like
We're
every
all
single
over
beer
the
we've
place.
had was kind of all over today. Like normally I
Yeah.
would start out with like probably like golden ales
Well-
and then move to like IPAs and then stouts or whatever, but we've had such a big change up today that
We don't like going in order.
Yeah.
no,
And-
it works.
So
Every beer
lame.
has been super tasty.
And what's helped a lot is
Bunch
your
of
generous
squares.
like
the water rinses.
donation of water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh?
Rinsing and everything
Hey, you
helps
gotta
clear the
say-
palate.
It has,
and
we haven't
everything.
had that in other episodes, so we very much
Yes.
appreciate
Must
that. Yeah,
stay hydrated.
it
That's
definitely
right.
works,
Yeah.
and it's good for you, right? Because water's good
Absolutely.
for you.
Yeah.
We use it to make beer.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So beer's good for you too.
We
is
have
that
a
what you're
little
saying?
bit of water.
Yeah, it's
in
liquid
there.
bread.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I like that.
Liquid bread, it's good for you.
It's a good lunch.
Yeah. Tell us
But-
about
So
this one,
most
Mitch.
people are like, beer is 90% water.
Mm.
Ours is more like 60.
True story. A lot
But
of
you're on the
solids.
right path.
A lot of solids in there.
It still works.
Yeah, it's still water.
This is one I got from Halifax in England or United Kingdom. So Darkland Brewery, they kind of collaborated with one of my favorite bands, My Dying Bride. It's Old Earth. It's a lager. It's very earthy, extremely earthy.
Mm.
This is one of the most, I guess, earthy lagers I've really had to date. So I'm kind of curious. This is, I think, my last can, so I really don't know when I'm gonna see another lager kind of like it. Pilsners I went back into the game with, and then lagers I've kind of slacked, but it's a big kind of genre at times, depending on how it kind of fades into the surrounding profiles. But I'm very curious what you all think about this. I don't think I've shared this with anybody yet. But yeah, let's get into it.
Earth.
I should have held that to the
Love
mic.
that sound.
Yes.
They were definitely listening to metal when they made this one.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And we made the comment earlier. We're looking at the can, just him holding it. It just
So
it
precious.
looks like this like my first beer. Like the way the can look. Like everybody's gotten so used to 16-ounce cans, right?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
have, and then like 12-ounce
It's like-
cans look really small.
So
But then
my
on top
hands
of
look
that,
really big.
that's right.
When I'm holding this.
But then I think this is 330 milliliters, so this is smaller than a 12-ounce can.
Yeah. Smells really sweet on
Yeah,
the
it
nose.
does.
Yeah,
Ooh.
get right into it.
But yeah, it still brings that down with that earthy kind of tone to
Ooh.
it.
Oh wow, it is. It's
Yeah.
almost barnyardy.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Barnyardy is
funk.
actually the right explanation
Exactly.
for this
Yeah.
beer. Yeah.
Oh, the horse blanket.
Yeah. Damn, I can smell it now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Not
Wow.
it's a very interesting
That's
little.
different.
This would go
Yeah.
really good with like a really nice stinky
Can I see that?
cheese.
Yeah.
you
bad.
know?
Stinky cheese.
Oh yeah.
I want to say something real quick. It's a little bit off par, but
Halifax.
so historically, and I alluded to this earlier. Historically, we say, okay, we go through and we drink, the Panther Creek beers, and then after that, we come back and then we say, okay, now we want to share something with you guys that we've brought historically. This is a welcome change in the sense that we're changing it up a little bit here. Like we actually put cold smoke with creek smoke. So
Yeah.
that was a very interesting experience. And then we got a chance to try the one that Mitch brought, here today for us. And then we're going to jump right back into Panther Creek at the end. So it's a deviation from the historical norm, but that's
Bookends.
exactly what we're looking
Bookends,
for.
baby.
Well,
Yeah, bookends, but that's
that-
what we're looking
hey,
for.
it's all about unity.
Come on.
Didn't-
Couldn't we all use a little unity right now? You know what I mean?
And that kind of wraps up, I think. So for your episode for Panther Creek, is we do not follow lines, guides, rules, or anything.
We follow some rules just so that the powers that be know. We
So
follow
that you can get
only
by.
governmental ones.
government rules. We follow
Yeah.
to the
Panther
letter.
Creek, we follow government rules, nothing else. But I like that. That's what I like. And in coming here back during 2020 when you guys first opened, it was interesting to see because again, there was a couple of breweries. Actually, I think there was only just Mayday in the area.
Yeah.
I don't remember if Hop Springs
Hop
was
Springs
open yet.
They were open.
Okay. But there was
I'm not sure if they were only doing seltzer at the time or.
I don't know.
okay, so there's an
Uh-oh.
inside joke behind the scenes there that we're not going to get. We're just going to say Mayday was the only brewery in town for right now. And then coming here, there was a different feel compared to other breweries in the area, other breweries just in Nashville or in general. So I appreciate the whole like doing things a little bit different and Murfreesboro being the landing spot for that because it could have been anywhere. It could have been Nashville. It could have
It would have been smarter to be Nashville, right?
But we all
Maybe.
know opening up a brewery initially is never a smart idea
No.
anyway.
Yeah.
You do it because you love it, not because you plan
Absolutely.
to make money.
Oh yeah. If you're
But
in
then you
this
just
for
hope
money,
that
you're
you
in the
make
wrong-
money in the end,
You're in
right?
the wrong
Yep.
business.
Yeah.
If you're for money.
Nobody that opened up a brewery went, this is a smart idea.
Actually, a lot of people did. That's the
Or
problem.
maybe that's the problem.
That
yeah,
is the problem.
That's true. That's a
I mean,
good
it sort of
point.
touches on that thing of where like people that maybe had like kind of a midlife crisis and maybe should have just had like a car wash or
It's like driving
bought
a
or
Corvette,
something.
right?
Yeah, there you go. And instead they're like, oh, we can
This
print
is
money.
a
Let's
really
open a
good
brewery.
idea.
Oh, I got news for you, bro.
But-
You'll never have a Corvette now.
No, now you are driving that Camry until the wheels fall off.
Or that minivan,
That's
right?
it. Come on,
yeah,
minivan.
that's right. Shout
Yep.
out to minivan
Come on,
drivers.
2005 Town and Country
That's
minivans.
right.
Oh hell yeah!
So it's very good to have Panther Creek in the mix here in Murfreesboro, because it could have been anywhere. It could have been Nashville, could have been Franklin, could have been whatever, but 3 guys happen to live next to each other, and 3 guys happen to love beer and brew beer, and one of them happened to go, hey, do you want to try brewing beer with me one day? And then the rest is just kind of history.
Yep.
So, and you guys' third partner, Melvin?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, not able to be with us today, but shout out to Melvin. He was always behind the bar when when I would show up, at least for the first few times. So you guys are definitely doing your thing.
And his barbecue.
Oh, his barbecue's killed.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, the taco discussion with Shane when he was here. That was
Oh, yeah.
Melvin's barbecue.
Oh, I totally
another
missed
side
on
one,
that.
We had Cabin Addicts too last
Cabin
year.
Addict Burgers.
And Melvin we had a bottle share. I don't know. We had a bottle share last Sunday. It was a private bottle share thing. And Melvin did some pork and some chicken for that.
Ooh.
And then Cabin Addicts had burgers and put some of the pulled pork on the patty melt.
dude.
Oh, that's fantastic.
On a patty melt?
Yeah.
Like, that could work.
That would melt.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And then-
God.
and also craft beer brine pickles, man, on
Dude.
fresh pressed pickles.
Oh.
We
It was
just
killer.
got a text
That's an
message
event.
from Jim Engelman.
Uh-oh.
I hope you boys have a good recording today with Foamy Heads.
Poor choice of words. Shout out to Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
I love
Jim's
Jim.
good people.
We haven't been able to talk to him yet on recording sake or even in person yet.
He's
Yeah.
fun, dude.
Yeah.
Last time, he's another bearded brother, I think,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Does he
He got
still
the
have
really
his
long
beard?
one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Nice.
I figured.
Nice.
It was so cold the other day at Canning, he had to wrap it around his neck like a scarf.
Nice.
I mean, he has to follow guidelines, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it is.
Don't get any of
Also
them hairs in
fellow
our beer.
That's right. No
right.
hairs in
That's
the
right.
beard.
Hair
Also
that in.
fellow metalhead.
Yeah.
No hair beer.
Shit.
No hair.
No
We'll
hair
be at
beer.
Ministry we'll be
Terrible
at,
name for a beer.
Terrible name.
We'll be at Ministry and Melvin's next Saturday together.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
That'll be awesome. Yeah. Damn.
Do we want to finish with Unity?
Yeah.
Let's do it. This is surprising. Still really good.
I'm a big fan of this older. This is really good, Mitch.
Thanks.
I didn't know what to expect of this one because I'd never had anything like this before.
At 4.5, you know,
It's only 4.5. Oh,
Yeah.
that's easy to
Super
drink, man.
sessionable,
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to still be as good as it was.
Yeah.
It's retained its exact flavor since the day I got it,
That's awesome.
and it's been a little over a year.
Very earthy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very like I had some ginseng gum from GNC back in the day, man. Very, very reminiscent
Yes.
of
Wow.
ginseng gum.
Interesting. Yeah.
We don't have any 12-ounce cans on the table, so we can't compare the size of that can.
I
So
don't
like
even
that.
know if I have any.
Do you have anything in the cooler? No, they're all 16-ounce. Panther
Well-
Creek wants to give us more beer, so they give us 16-ounce cans and not 12-ounce cans.
Yeah,
I'm okay
Panther
with
Creek's
that
for the kids,
record.
baby.
That's right.
So we're popping Unity now.
Oh, I didn't do that in front of the mic either.
Unity
All
is
good.
there. Is it blackcurrant and cherry?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
sweet dark cherry and black currant. The first version was blackberry.
Okay.
So this is kind of our ongoing fruited sour series. It's not quite kettle sour, but
Ooh.
it is a quick sour.
So I'm okay with that. And obviously my opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day, but like sours for me, as long as they're not like super funky and all that kind of stuff, I can typically dig. Now, when Mitch and I started doing this, the ongoing joke has always been like, Richard doesn't do sours.
Well, I kind of ruined it for you at the first round because
you?
Embrace the Funk was the thing.
Oh,
And,
okay. Yeah. Tell that story, please.
I don't remember the year, but it was one of those New Year parties where I went to the first Embrace the Funk kind of gathering that Yazoo had when they were still in the Gulch area.
Yes.
And I brought home their red wine.
And you came to a New Year's Eve party at my house, right?
Yeah. And
Awesome.
it became... Well, everyone hated me at the end of the night because I pulled out the bottle, I cut the wax, I opened it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, do you have a wine, a cork thing and
Yeah.
corkscrew?" It
have a
was
cork
almost
dork?
like that. Yeah,
You have
yeah.
a cork dork I can
Because
Like a pig.
my brain fails often, especially with alcohol, and he He provided it. I opened it. Everyone had high expectations because this is the point in time in Nashville. I don't remember the year where craft beer was starting to make a scene, but everyone was just drinking wheat ales.
Yeah,
from
Yingling,
like
Blue Moon,
yeah,
like
Blue
Shock
Moons.
Top. That was the definition
Oh,
of
yeah.
craft beer
Yeah.
in Nashville
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Shock Top,
Yeah.
Blue Moon.
And at the
That's
time,
still is big.
And
isn't
Mitch
it?
came with Embrace
And how's
the
your
Funk.
bush?
Yeah, right.
it keeps growing.
Huh?
The Yazoo,
Wow.
it was Blackstone, Yazoo, and
Woods Viking.
I'll get them to
Tame
trim it
that
up
bush.
for me. I need a little bit of oils to
I
soften
need a little
it.
bush trimming here.
Maybe
That's
apply
weird.
direct.
Sean and Aaron don't have that on their pricing list page.
Hey,
Need the
Lane
bush
can hook
trimmed
you
up
up
a little bit
Lane
for
is
us.
all about doing the mullets. Lane will hook you up. Woods Viking.
Shout out Lane.
But yeah, that time was a weird time for craft beer because we only had Blackstone, Yazoo, Zons, and like maybe 2 others I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
But-
probably that was it actually.
Yeah,
Bosco's was here for a little while.
Bosco's,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
They
Yep.
closed shop here. And
that's right. That was weird seeing that go. But yeah, so Yazoo
Market
Embrace the
Street,
Funk
yeah.
killed everybody that night. They didn't like it. So it was all mine. So that was great. But, you know, they didn't like me so much after that
hey,
one. But I might have ruined your palate for sours that night with the red.
Because I mean, like the rest of us were drinking like craft beer. It was like wheat beers and stuff like that. And Mitch showed up with this Embrace the Funk beer from this brewery called Yazoo, which probably nobody at my house had heard of at the time. And we were like, yeah, we
Shout
like
out
craft
Brandon.
beer.
Brandon
That's right.
Jones.
And he showed up with an Embrace the Funk beer, and that was my first sour beer that I had ever had. And I was like, whoa, you
Dude.
know, and for what it is, it's great.
Dude,
You know,
That-
but at the time, not something that I was used to. And you got to have to get like introduced slowly into the world of like funk beers.
That's another big hitter that came from the homebrew world. Brandon Jones was part of the Music City
Man,
Brewers.
yep.
Very contemporary. We'd hang out and do the Music City Brew Off and stuff together.
Yeah.
fun.
Brandon's awesome.
But I think it's more like the kettle sours go. That tends to be more my speed. Like funk beers aren't necessarily my thing, but if you're gonna go tart instead of sour, or if you're gonna go like fruity instead of like really funky, then historically I'm getting the thumbs up from Jeremy. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna
like
be
it.
okay with Unity.
This one is
then.
going to be like a really clean, refreshingly tart. I mean, it's clearly sour,
Mhm.
but it's also sweet and balanced and kind of refreshing. Nice
love the
berry,
nose.
cherry off the nose, real big time.
We've never finished with a sour beer before.
Here's to first time.
First time for everything. Cheers,
Welcome
guys.
to the creek.
Thank you to Panther Creek. Cheers. Yep, that's good. That's doable. Yeah.
man.
Fantastic nose.
Yeah, thanks.
A little bit of cherry. I'm still trying to understand the sour profiles.
It's like a buttery biscuit with jelly on it. I love that.
A buttery biscuit with jelly.
Yeah, like maybe blackberry.
You ever had
or-
that before, JT?
It does have wheat in it.
Yeah?
And it does
Okay.
have
Definitely.
Yeah.
cherry,
Cherry.
Definitely,
black
yeah.
currant.
Yeah,
Black currant, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Got a little jamminess to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some nice corn and some sweet kind of caramel grains.
Oh,
in there,
man.
and nice citrus from the kind of lactic.
Yes.
You know you're at a good
Profile.
you're at a good brewery when you're drinking beer and it doesn't look like beer.
Right.
You know, most of your beer, you know, when you like people imagine they drink beer, it looks like Miller Lite.
I will say there's been this like
Every single beer has been a different color today.
I like
Every
that. That's
single
dope,
beer.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
and
very
there
good,
has
colorful
been this
rainbow. Look.
resurgence, and I will say I am very guilty of it as well. But like, you know, as we were talking about like the expansion and contraction, kind of
Right.
like respiratory system situation, like big crazy beers back to normal beers. Like, there's been this sort of like hashtag beer flavored beer thing.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's the last 3 ones.
Yeah, it's a good
So
color.
yeah, beer
yes.
flavored beer, which that is amazing, and I love that, and it absolutely has its place. Obviously, it's a 5,000-year-old place, right?
Yeah.
Beer flavored beer, but this is craft beer, and so like, can't we be creative? Can we not try new things? Can we not like push the boundaries a little
Exactly.
bit? Like,
Yes.
let's not be down on our fellow brewers who like also want to put lactose and fruit in beer or vanilla and whole carrot cakes in beer. Why is that less craft than someone who wants to make beer flavored beer?
Right.
Like, let's be, to the spirit of craft beer, we are all inclusive. You know what I mean? This is about home brewing and experimental stuff and trying new things and culinary things that work. Let's try it with beer. Like, why do we have to like be down on someone who wants to do cool stuff too?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. That's the
Amen.
thing.
Cheers to that.
You don't.
Yeah,
You
I
guys-
just wanted to get that out there. There's been a little bit of a backlash on sort of,
Man.
that kind of thing, and like, experimentation and kind of trying new stuff. And, we've always been about that. That's sort of why we started brewing in the first place, is to try new things, check out what flavors work well together. And
No, we made a pizza beer.
yeah, we made a pizza beer.
Wait, what?
Why not? What goes better with beer than pizza? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I
That
mean,
was a
nothing.
memory-
But what a
memory
pe-
popped
It
up the
was
other
like
day
a really
about it.
nice wheat-based
A wheat-based beer.
That
Okay.
could
wheat-based
work,
beer, so
yeah.
you got that really nice breadiness and the kind of crust, and
The
then
pizza
we
beer.
put so there's a spice called bee balm, which is like Oswego, and
Oh.
natives have been using it for years for tons of homeopathic things like stomach problems and all kinds of stuff. But it also like tea, Oswego tea, you've heard of that?
Yeah.
Bee balm, and it has this kind of like really cool kind of citrusy tea-like kind of quality to
Oh,
it.
cool.
And we made a bee balm beer with a wheat base, and people were like, "Oh, it's very pizza-esque." And so we threw dried basil and
Nice.
and,
Yeah.
red pepper flakes, and and Oswego and sun-dried tomatoes, and
What?
garlic, and
Yeah.
it turned out
Really?
amazing. And it was like,
Hell
oh
yeah,
wow, this is
that's
fucking pizza.
awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
There was a beer share a while back I went to that had I forget who did it, but it was buffalo wings.
Is that the
and
blue
ranch.
cheese? The ranch?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
ranch. And I think Shane was there as well, and we, as a group, all ended up mixing the ranch with the buffalo
Yeah.
wings into one kind of cup 50-50.
Thank you, Jason.
And that was it was very nice compared to them individually. So your beer sounds better.
Well, thank you, sir. I knew I liked you.
Those two beers were a weird hit. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I saw that. It was really cool. I was super interested. I never got the chance to try them both. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, I'm all for that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm all for that experimentation.
I
maybe
love
it doesn't
pushing
work.
it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe it does,
One way to find out.
right?
Gotta
And I'm not
experiment.
trying to like badmouth them for trying
No,
that. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just experimentation's where it's at. I
love
love that.
pickle beers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh man, Briar Scratch had a pickle beer one time that was
Yep.
crazy amazing.
Yep.
Pickle beers and Briar Scratch. Sabbath had a hot pickle
Dude.
beer.
Oh,
Holy shit, that was the best
That was a
pickle beer I ever
pickle
had.
beer.
was it? Yeah.
Pickle
Turned out
AF.
good.
Well, Sabbath was all about like Saison style beers, and he pickled it with a local guy who did like death pickles, and they were like habanero, Thai chili, and other
Nice.
things.
That
And
sounds awesome.
It took a lot of like R&D and cellaring with different like
Come on,
barrels.
blending and whatnot.
Shit, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And they finally found the median between the heat and flavor. And that's what they served when we were able to visit. And it was fucking perfect. It tickled the back of the throat with that spice, but it wasn't harsh. And you could keep
Love it.
pouring glass after glass of it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like
That's
spice
so
beer.
awesome.
Like
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
like there's something cool about like heat with like
Mhm.
but cold. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's sort
Yeah.
of like a weird like sweet and heat kind of a
Mm.
Yeah. Love
cold
it.
and heat balance thing. It's really cool. But yeah, you don't want to ruin anybody's day. Right? So you
Exactly.
don't want to like be too hot.
I'm always worried about like habanero beers, but I know it's not going to be a habanero pepper like level of stuff.
Yeah.
But even then, like there's I think who's the one with the, well, there's a few people with a fist on the logo, but there's someone that,
51st Amendment.
no,
Or 21st, I mean.
they're an older brewery that's big time. I can't think of their, I'd have to, my brain's failing me right
Left
now.
hand.
No.
I was thinking of hands.
But Rogue.
Oh, Rogue. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one of theirs that I wasn't a big fan of at the time, but that was many years ago, many moons. But
What was that?
there's a few pepper beers that I've been kind of.
Oh, cool.
That looks like a Revolution can.
It
It is.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
It was a
Freedom Lemonade.
sour I had
Ooh.
yesterday.
How was that?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I loved it. I love
dude,
lemons.
Revolution does good work,
Huh?
man.
Lemons and
Yeah,
raspberry.
they got it at Jack Brown's.
They got it at Jack Brown's. Shit.
Dude.
Yeah, Revolution stole my heart. A couple trips to Chicago.
Yeah, they're great.
The first time I went, it was Winter Vortex, I think it was.
Mhm.
Shit. It was hell getting up there,
Was it? Yeah.
especially like finding gas
Winter
on the way.
Vortex.
Yeah, it was bad. All of Chicago was frozen over. Cars were like, it looked like they were in motion, but they were
Yeah.
just parked in
Froze,
space.
yeah.
Yeah. And my wife and I love Chicago, so we went. Okay, this was our second time up there as Winter Vortex. Pre-ordered hotel tickets, all that shit. Can't get refunds, so we said, fuck it. I got a new car. We'll plow through it. And Revolution Brewing at the time, we went to, I can't remember the location, but you take the blue line over to wherever it is. And some dude got pushed by several trench coat people into a black SUV that was blacked out, and then
Oh,
we never
shit.
saw him again while we waited in line to get into the brewery.
Oh
It
damn.
was like, well, there's our entertainment for the evening. Time to walk in. Yeah, it took a while for us to get called in, but it was Chicago was frozen over. There was still some shit happening throughout town.
Windy City, baby.
Dude, city never sleeps. So,
That's for sure.
but they had a wonderful Death's Tar was fresh that night, and several variants available, and then a butternut squash soup. Shit, it was a wonderful night at that brewery space. But
Love
every
that
time something
brewery.
comes out, I always want to get my hands on it, but distribution's just not here yet. So I got to rely on the community from time to time.
Yep.
But everything they've been pumping out, I've just been hearing good things about.
Yeah.
I haven't been up there in maybe 4, 5, 6 years, but damn, everything looks good. Especially the new variants on Death Star that have come out.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some good ones from them.
Yeah.
I'm just getting back. I had to run to the restroom.
They had,
so you guys have obviously had a conversation. About
There was a lemonade variant that they had.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Death Star lemonade?
No.
No,
Just Revolution.
Just
Brewery.
Revolution. Okay. I was
So
like, ooh.
lemon sour.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Had it at
They
Jack
came out-
Brown's burger place yesterday.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
it was very good.
They've
I
had
love
that.
lemons, though.
They have had that Heroes IPA line for
Yep.
a while too. That's
We had
been
a
good.
few of their Hero IPA series, and then we
Yeah.
had the Death Star. We had Cafe Death.
Oh man, yeah.
And then they had a, what was the, I want to say it was like a, I can't remember what it was. We've had quite a few from Revolution. And then when we were in Chicago, we kind of stopped and picked up some beer from them.
Dark Lord Day.
Dark Lord Day.
Oh yeah.
Went to
Yeah.
Munster, and then we picked up DJ and
Yep. Airport
Chicago,
Revolution Brewery.
and then decided to go to Revolution Brewing. Yep. So we've been all over. It wasn't an old ale that we had from them, but I feel it was like oh well, I've had too much beer today.
It starts attacking the brain.
I
right?
blame Jeremy. Too much beer.
I'll take it.
This has been a
Everything you have is great, man.
yeah.
It's really good.
It's fantastic.
We've been through the gamut today. I mean, we started out with IPAs,
Yeah.
then we moved to Scotch ales,
We'll do another day. I mean,
Mhm.
and it'll be
we
different
have
next time.
So many more.
Yeah.
You
we
know,
just tried to, put the gambit out.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of regular beer flavored beer as well.
hell
Beer
yeah.
flavored beers.
Huh? Hashtag beer flavor.
Thanks
just-
again. Like
yeah.
all of these beers, when we talked previously, we were thinking about an hour. We've went double that and more now. So I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate the hospitality,
Yeah,
the
this has
time you've
been
taken
great.
out of your day for us. It's
This is awesome.
Oh, I love it. Thanks for coming.
What's next for the Panther Creek crew?
oh
Well, I mean, we got a bunch of more beers, in the pipe. Trace Ray is coming back.
ooh
Another version of
Mhm.
Fresh Pressed is coming back. We are looking to, expand on our patio experience. So come on out and check out the comedy, check out some cool live music. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll be pushing into distribution in Davidson County and Williamson County.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, growth, man. Just more putting on them boots and getting up every day and just grinding it out. So
Yeah.
Hell
For
yeah.
sure. And in the meantime, I mean, food trucks, you guys are always having My Roots is always is here a lot of the times. You
Roots
guys are
is
doing
around.
barbecue a lot as
Barbecue.
well.
Yeah. Single tree.
Single tree.
I don't know when this episode comes out, but this week we have Wednesday we have single tree
Mm-hmm.
and bingo. Thursday we're doing a St. Patty's Day party. We'll have Codgers food truck. They're gonna have some
sparkling green
Irish
beer.
offerings,
Yeah.
sparkly green beer. Gonna have
Sparkling.
flair. We're gonna load you up with glasses, necklaces, and all kinds of fun Irish party stuff. And
Arr-cha-chee-cha-char.
we'll have some Irish music.
I don't know if y'all know, but I am a leprechaun by trade.
By trade, huh?
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Friday
something.
night we have Los Tacos, which is some of the most amazing tacos you've probably ever had.
Oh, these
Okay.
guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And Saturday we have Music City Wagyu.
Oh
Doing
shit.
their
Music
burgers
City Wagyu,
and,
huh?
Live music.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the porch if it's nice outside.
Damn,
Okay.
shit is
From
popping.
Jason Seata.
Yeah.
And
And then the 26th, like I
amazing.
said, comedy's back. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Those look great.
Oh man.
Oh, look at them tacos, son.
That was
these guys.
awesome.
So first of all, work ethic above the board.
Really?
Like, these guys, like their first date that they were here, their truck broke down. And normally when you got a food truck guy and they're like, oh, my truck broke down, it's like, well, you can go ahead and kiss that.
Right.
It's goodbyesies.
Right.
But they were like, hey, do you have a space where we can sort of set up and kind of do like catering?
Really? They
Yeah,
still
man.
showed out,
Dude,
huh?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, man.
And
Like their work
cars.
ethic, dude. They
Wow.
pulled up. They worked out of our kitchen. It's not much of a kitchen, but there is a little space and there's some counter
They
space.
made
Yeah.
do.
And they were reheating
They
stuff. They brought all
pre-cooked
their
on the
stuff.
truck while it
Nice.
was broke down.
That's
and then
awesome.
brought
And
it
then
in.
brought it,
Shit.
shuffled it back and forth, shuttled it or whatever. and
Dedication.
Dedication, right?
Dedication.
Right, you know what I mean? And these
You know, when you-
nachos and tacos were out of the fucking world, dude.
And we were doing a podcast live that night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's awesome.
nice.
That's great.
Shit.
Panther Creek always doing it good down here.
They
to
got
us.
it happening.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Mitch.
Everything's been amazing.
Yeah.
Beer to beer, love it. Every
Yeah.
single one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You've hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
I'm proud to have you locally.
Thank you,
and
man. I appreciate
I
it.
just,
That's awesome. That's a statement right
It
there.
really is. yeah.
it's you're doing good work. You're pushing the envelope, and you keep going. So that's what counts. I love it. You're including community. You've got everything going on. There's nothing to, I can't express my input enough.
Dude, thank you so
Yeah.
much, man.
Thank
I
you.
just, we do what we can and we hope it translates. And I really appreciate all your comments. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
And that's what you want, when you guys are doing, you think you're out here just grinding it out and doing what you can. But as much as you think that you're doing a great job, there's people out here that think you're doing an even better job. Just making it for us, because the average beer consumer, or even somebody like Mitch or somebody like myself that, is constantly just drinking beer or whatever, trying to find something. It's always good to be able to come back to a local place and say, not only do they make great beer, but they also care about their community. And that's what Panther Creek, kind of encompasses altogether.
Yeah.
So
that's-
shout out to
thank
you
you.
guys. Everything that you make is really good. Been here since day one. We'll continue to be here and support you guys.
That is so dope, man. We really appreciate it. Like you said, we just work hard and we're just super humble that y'all notice. You know what I mean? Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
And we'll
Please
keep
coming out.
we'll keep spending money. You keep putting out beers and we'll keep spending money.
Thank you so much.
That's just how it works. So
Thanks for having us.
yeah,
It
this
was
has been a
Absolutely.
good time. We'll see you guys on the next episode, and cheers to everybody here at the table and everybody listening.
Cheers.
Cheers.